Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. And it always brings up a Facebook that I don't want and then has me talking. Shut up, me. There we go, much better. I sound like a cowbell. And I always like more cowbell. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That is my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. Hello, Joyce.
Hello, this is Optimum Online. We have the mouse on the wheel and he can't generate the cables.
Unbelievable. Saturday morning. And almost every week, yes, I'm going to complain. Oh, I'm in a complaining mood. So, every week, just about, to make sure that we have optimal internet so I can bring this program to all of you in the Daverhood. The thing that we do is I have to go downstairs in this house and turn off the computer there, turn off the modem, and reboot it. Because over the week, stuff gets in, squirrels get into the wires or something like that. And so by rebooting, it kind of regenerates the system. It gives us better internet, quicker Wi-Fi, and so forth. So I did it yesterday. I was so proud of myself. I remembered, and I was like, you know what? We have a cool show for you today on Dave's Gone By.
You're like Britney Spears.
How?
You have a guardian provider.
That's right. I can get better guardianship here. No, but it's kind of like it's troubleshooting. It's fail saving. Like I forgot to change my name on here from Dave Lefkowitz to the name of the program, which is Dave's Gone By. I'm going to do it right in front of you.
There goes the Dave.
So every week I reboot the internet system in the house. It takes like 5 minutes. And then it kind of makes sure that I have better Wi-Fi doing this. Because, we have to go from doing it on the computer, it loads onto Facebook, it's a thing. So, what happens? 7:30 in the morning here, this Saturday, July 24th, 2021. Here. Joyce is watching her morning TV on the computer. I'm trying to get up the show for me, checking on the Facebook stuff, checking on my notes, and having to print my notes out that I'd use to cheat sheet for the show. And suddenly the internet's dead. Suddenly nothing's working at all. So I figure, okay, we gotta reload on our computers, we gotta do this, and then still nothing working. I go downstairs to check, and God bless her, my mother's already rebooting downstairs because she goes on her.
That's private. Don't tell people that.
Well, that's since Dad died. So, you started it.
No, but I didn't say the joke. I just said it's private.
You intimated a disgusting little private joke about my mother and vibrators. You did. You did, and
I don't even know what the word intimate means.
Bull gag masks and people in gorilla and felch mask suits.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't say it, but you got me to say it.
Why would gorillas wear a mask?
I don't know. It's drives an ape. I'm not gonna monkey around with that. So anyway, where was I? Okay, so I go downstairs.
You go downstairs.
And the big tell is that even the TV channels aren't working on Altice. Because sometimes it's an internet thing. You gotta turn it off. There's a thing. But this was like, it isn't just us. And there's apparently a cable outage in this area somewhere, because I asked Mom to call
Who broke it?
Somebody drives into a generator, some moron flips a switch in the cable company, whatever they do, and suddenly hundreds of houses go out.
Don't unplug.
Hundreds of houses don't have internet or cable, or nobody has a home phone anymore, but nobody's got phones either, so.
Yeah, anybody who's got a phone from the cable.
Yeah, I mean, like we used to have the triple play plan back in Colorado. It was starting at $99 a month. It didn't stay there long, but
$99 a month.
Yeah, plus tax, plus applicable service fees. It was actually $140 even before they started jacking up the rates, but still.
$970.
So, but you pay for all three, and if they go out in your area, you're screwed. That's why I always kept a home phone the old-fashioned like dial service phone for just moments like that. Because if everything goes out, who the hell have you called the cable company to tell them we're out? Because the cable company's there. So you know what I'm saying. And this morning we go down, and the TV's not working, the phone's not working. So I'm thinking, okay, I've got to cancel the show, because what else can I do? I can kind of pre-record it and then show it to you all later.
That was a good backup plan, honey.
Yeah.
That's very smart.
Or table it for a week, have a nice, quiet Saturday morning.
Oh, David, never. I would, if I had to sit here and conjure from my spiritual powers the Wi-Fi or the hotspot, you cannot miss your show. It's your blessing. That is your therapy, Baba. You can't miss it.
This is true.
You can't miss your show.
It saves me like, I didn't wipe I didn't think I had stuff on my nose, and I did.
It's the only thing that keeps you sane.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
I'm not kidding.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
No, it keeps you sane. If you don't have that, you're gonna go cuckoo pants.
So here's my sanity fix.
This is I made up the word cuckoo pants, but you would, you need it. It's your outlet. It's your nirvana. It's your downtime. It's your uptime. It's your.
I have a job. I work all week. I shop. I do a lot of stuff around the house. I've got no real life to speak of, especially during the pandemic.
Your exotic dancing too.
I do have that stopped during the pandemic. Nobody would let me touch their poles, or their Armenians. It was horrible. So
you were the dancer, honey.
And yeah. It was funny when my I didn't say this because I know enough not to, but I did want to volunteer to everybody if they want me to pop out of a cake at her retirement thing.
Oh, that would have been cute.
Cute before the Me Too era.
No, but also you could have been dressed in your unicorn. If you did it in your unicorn onesie, that would have been okay.
It would have been very cute, although that's still very phallic.
And holding Goobagon.
That's an inside joke. I haven't even explained it, folks. Okay, so, but my wife, Joyce, who realized that I would be a grumpy Gus for several months if I couldn't get to do a show that I had planned, and couldn't have the guest that I have in the Daverhood today.
She's an excellent guest, honey. What an excellent guest.
So, she knew I would not be livable. I would not be like a human you want to deal with if I didn't get to do the show today. So what did she do? She was like, wait a minute, you have on your phone and on my phone, we have hotspots.
Yeah.
So let's see if they work. Because they're on a whole different thing. They're on the 4G, the LTE.
It's my consulting job that gave me brain power to do it, right? So sometimes you do things and you're like, okay, and consulting really helped me grow as well. Like the more you write and the more you learn and the more you explain things, the more you yourself, grow. So
what's kind of interesting is Joyce has this consulting gig that she does, and it mostly involves making slides. First, it was just for older people. Now it's for people who care for older people and the older people they care for. So, but she's doing all these, and it's basic stuff. It's like introduction to Facebook. And you figure, oh, for God's sake, who doesn't know this? But people don't. And sometimes it's stuff that you think you sort of know. And in terms of Wi-Fi, hotspots, what was the thing you're working on?
Just like smart home.
I don't know, from Alexa and Siri. I think I do. I think I know what they're for.
But if you think about it, it's like Facebook groups or it's not only things you use every day, but it's optimizing your privacy, making sure that it's like driving a car without reading the manual. You might not know that you could pre-program stations, you have heated seats. It's like getting all the bells and optimizing your experience.
Yeah, it's one thing to put up a slide for people who don't know anything about it to do telehealth. And so you can visit a doctor on the web. Okay, I'll make it up. But then it's another to give them websites about health, about how medicine delivery.
But the thing that made me the happiest during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, when it was unsafe for anybody to go to healthcare, like in the deep of the pandemic, one woman wrote in the survey and she said, because of the presentation, I attended my first telehealth visit, and I'm really thankful. Because even though the doctor can't do your blood pressure or maybe can't do those things, if you have some concern and you can tell that physician and they can assess it, it relieves your mind. I mean,
Although I really, really regret I had one doctor session over the internet and he reached through and he tried to take blood. It ruined my screen. And an artery just shot over this. I had to clean the camera there, get the blood off.
Take it with the can opener.
That's
that was
right.
yeah.
Well, there was an electric can opener. It should have worked.
Oh my God.
It sliced. It just sliced in the wrong direction. But anywho, I'm usually the one who's fainting when I tell those kinds of jokes. So we are here thanks to Joyce's knowledge of things that we can take our telephones and do a hotspot, and that's how we are. So we may have a weaker signal, and we may not be able to have our whole 3 hours, depending on how much juice we have on these things. I don't know how long hotspots go. I know in my school district, and I work in the tech department, we give a kid a hotspot for the whole year if they need one, if they don't have cable and
the library has one. I wonder if a lot of people who have power outages are going to the library to get the hotspots.
They would. The library probably just opened 10 minutes ago, so they're probably running to it.
That's smart.
Yeah, but you have to, I think you're screwed, though, if you get it first before connecting it, or can you just...
I don't know. I think you have to, whatchamacallit, you have to also reserve it. It's like some of the hot books, you can't just go and get it. You have to reserve it.
And they connect it to... I don't know how it works. But I do know, I assume children who are on the internet all day during the pandemic, in school, working remotely, taking classes from home, as they did.
All day.
Well, what?
You hope they're on
all day. They're not playing Minecraft. But even if whatever they're doing, that it's going to last not 2 hours, but 7 or 8 or 9, continuously. Because a school day goes 5-6 hours, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't know how the kids do it. I have no idea.
But anyway, so we're hoping we have 2 phones, 2 hotspots. Yeah. If we lose you, which I certainly think we will, don't go away or do go away and come on back, because we're doing our whole show. And
you're recording, right?
And we are recording it, so if we miss part of it or we go away...
Do you want a drink?
I got my seltzer.
I can make you tea with agave.
Yes! Yeah. Because, well, let me tell you what's going to be on the show, because we are going to do it. If things get screwed up, we'll keep going with the show, and then we'll post it once our internet's back tomorrow. And then it'll be there, as with all our shows, at davesgoneby.com. You can watch all our archives there. Speaking of archives, I got to thank so much the Red Bull Theater Company.
Oh my God, David.
This is so cool of them, because when they ran the one act, the Short New Play Festival...
Give me your cup.
Oh, it still got seltzer in it. Oh, let me...
No, I'll put it... I'll move it over.
Okay. I was part of the Short New Play Festival about almost 3 weeks ago now. My hilarious comedy.
Please donate.
Thank you. Wow, my urine is clear. So, and it was a big honor. Yeah, it was very nice of them. They liked my play. I liked them. They did a lovely job performing. It's a 10-minute play called Restoration Playhouse. And the thing was, they got permission from Equity to... It was a virtual festival. It wasn't on stage or anything like that. It was all done as Zoom plays. And Equity said, okay, you can have this benefit, you can stream it online, and you can actually keep the replay of all these plays online for 4 days. But then it's got to go, because the actors aren't paid enough by our standards. We're making a deal with you, you're making a deal with us. So I talked about all this last week. So it was...
Their equity, a lot of... And even the directors and stuff, I think people probably had to massively agree.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they have to work out all these deals. There's a directors union, the guild. There's an actors equity, of course.
That sounds like a good time.
Oh, well, I would hate... Oh, God, I mean, there's a former... What was her? She was a former Miss America, really? Actually, an actress named Kate Schindel, beautiful woman, who is the president of Actors Equity. And I do not envy going from being on Broadway in musicals and modeling to having to literally sit down and negotiate with 5 different unions. I don't know.
It might help her because she's very, she's very poised. She's like, I want to be a veterinarian so I can help children. So she'll be in there and be like, oh, it's so wonderful, like Southern polite to see you all. She might have that faith. And
meanwhile, she gets out and she wants to shoot people, which I would if I were dealing with union issues and contracts.
I'd like to be like a labor lawyer. I think I'd be a good lawyer.
Well, you would be on the side of labor, 140%, as opposed to finding the middle ground of management has to make money and stay open in order for there to be labor. That's the tough part.
Oh wow, look at my bruise.
Oh. You want to show on camera?
No, I do not want to show on camera.
So,
David, everything is not you want to show on camera.
It is from 9 a.m. until noon on Saturday mornings when we do Dave's Gone By. So thank you to the Red Bull Theater Company because they ran the festival for 4 days.
They're still running it.
Yeah, and well, no, they don't. They had to. They took down the 2.5 hour or 2 hour and 20-minute program of all the plays from YouTube. There was a YouTube link to it. They had to. But they were kind enough. I guess they liked my play, and it was really germane for a positive look at theater reopening. They excerpted Just Restoration Playhouse, and it's on Red Bull Theater's Facebook page to this day, and it's got about 4,000 views on it. Which is, I think I said this last week, is that more people have seen this play of mine than have seen any of my theater work. I think now at this point maybe combined.
Wow.
In all the years, I mean, from when I was in high school doing Come Blow Your Horn, well, that was probably a couple hundred people, to doing like a bad version of a non-musical Sweeney Todd in Rockville Center. Well, I was in it. I
Sweeney
didn't
Todd
write
was
it.
in Rockville Center?
Sweeney Todd was in Rockville Center. You don't go to the barbershops in Rockville Center for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
To people who came to Shalom Dammit.
Shack is not a good place.
and people who came to the Miracle of Long John's. If you put all those off Broadway things together, it probably doesn't add up to as many people who watched Restoration Playhouse online, either as part of the festival or, bless their hearts at Red Bull, right on their Facebook page. It's still there. So if you haven't seen Restoration Playhouse, I kept a copy of my own for personal use for download, but it's not. I'm not going to share it. I'm not allowed to. But I think Red Bull has the right, and they're doing it. So if you haven't seen it, when the show is over, if you're curious about my play, if you want 10 minutes of laughter, because you won't find it in this 3 hours, go to Red Bull Theater's Facebook page, and it's the first listing that they've got. And it literally starts as you go on their page. You kind of have to click to stop it.
It's the summative event that ties together what that was about. Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. I thank them ever so much. Let me tell you what's going to be on this episode, which is going to be a little more difficult for me than usual because I haven't been able to print out my cheat sheet of what I do here. So if you see me kind of looking over back and forth from my notes, it's going to be on screen rather than on paper, but I can do it for you. Here, what a cool show we're going to have, assuming our Wi-Fi holds out. First of all, we're calling this program, let me move this over a little. I don't know how that got verschummeled like that. It's better. So it's called Lillias, No Yoga, and You, because our guest in the Daverhood is a Tony Award-winning actress. She was in The Life on Broadway, in Fela on Broadway. If you name a long-running musical, something like Chicago, she was in it at some point. Major actress and also an exceptional singer. Her name is Lillias White. So yes, we will have Lillias. We will not have yoga unless I start really moving interestingly. And we will have you. She was in Dreamgirls, Cats, How to Succeed in Business, one of the revivals of that. And here's the deal. She'll be back at the Green Room in August. Speaking of New York cabaret stuff, August.
She'll be back live.
She'll be back live. It'll be a physical performance. She's already been there. In fact, she was the woman who opened the Green Room when it opened.
Oh my God.
Way back when.
Oh wow.
When the Green Room closed owing to the pandemic and then first reopened, she was the first woman back.
Oh my God.
And she's coming back August 12th through the 14th, Lillias White. So, yes, if you want Lillias White, and who doesn't, she's on the program. We have an interview with her talking to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon.
David,
Here.
It's very hot.
Here's my
it's
hot.
It's got honey and agave.
Agave at the office.
I'm
just going to move it over slowly.
Do you want me to put water in it or something?
No, let it, because it's good for the heatness.
Yeah, it'll
so, Lillias White in the Daverhood, yay.
What a beautiful guest.
Mm-hmm.
People have been commenting, they're really anxious to see her.
I've never had this many people sharing, retweeting, resharing a Facebook post as I've had this week for Lillias White. So that's pretty wonderful. And we're thrilled that we get guests like her in the Daverhood. So, And I'm, of course we'll also push that she has her very, very first, after all these years, she's put out a record album.
Whoa.
And it will be a vinyl album towards the holidays. Right now it's just a download and a CD. Remember CDs? And it's called Get Yourself Some Happy.
Why did she wait this long?
I don't know. Maybe this was a project like
Like
a year and a half, no live
project?
performances.
Yeah.
Let me do an album, right?
Yeah,
So she's doing it, and it's all happy, joyful songs.
That's wonderful.
So the completely wrong person to interview her would be Rabbi Sal Solomon, who hasn't known happiness since he was born, but he'll fake it, and he will be very happy to talk to Lillias White in the Daverhood. Plus, also on this episode of the show, we will have our Today, Yesterday quiz. Now, unfortunately, because she's so busy now with things ramping up, Lillias White won't be able to stay and join and be part of the quiz. So we're doing the quiz earlier, and it's going to have our usual suspects, God willing. I haven't heard from them saying that they're not going to be with us. So we expect Leslie Hoban Blake, who is a director and also a theater critic and the co-host of Critics Circle.
She's the second, so she's number 2.
What do you mean she's number 2? I missed.
After David Sheward.
She is, yeah. David Sheward is on vacation, and he said, you know what, Dave, we're in a hotel. We can't do it as late as we usually do. We got to check out. I'm like, if we move the quiz earlier, can you do it? And his commitment to this program is that they say, yes, Dave, for you, I won't skip the week. I'll do it. So,
for you,
David...
For you, I'll risk a late checkout fee.
Yes, that's right. Well, a late checkout fee in a hotel is like probably $150,
Well, if he was staying with his mother, then they wouldn't have done it, but it's because he's with his husband.
Maybe he is. I think he's in Maine, right?
Yeah, but not by Mom. Mom would not allow it. Mom would be like, no, thank you.
Not with that show, yeah.
No, that's okay. You don't need to do it.
But David Sheward is the former president of the Drama Desk, former managing editor of Backstage, and he's also now still a theater critic and a blogger for places like Cultural Weekly and TheaterLife.com, and his own blog, The David Desk. And they will be playing opposite or against or with, depending on how you decide to phrase it, our beloved Vicki Quade. Now, Vicki is the co-creator of Late Night Catechism, which is a show...
She's been doing so much. Like, I can't look at the Facebook, but I do recall, like, she's been all over.
Yeah.
And somebody wrote on one of her posts, I think she's got a new theater, a new venue.
Yeah, well, she's mentioned...
She's got, like, a new venue, and then, like, they're like, it looks so nice, and so she's, like, she's really dove in post-pandemic.
Well, yeah, it's been a decade or 2 or almost 3 that she's been doing Late Night Catechism when it was originally created with a woman named Mary Pat Donovan. Yeah. So it's been done in New York, it's been done everywhere, and it's still being doing in Chicago in a new building called the Greenhouse. I'm sorry, what?
What tense is that?
I don't even... It's the past pluperfect futuristic. Past pluperfect futuristic, I think works.
Oh my Lord.
So Vicki Quade, and she's doing, and plus there's also, what is it, bingo? Well, she'll tell it. Christmas bingo is going to be coming up in a few weeks, several weeks.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
Which does make sense. Like, if you're going to have a show about religion, you're going to have to hit the holidays,
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, I would do Easter, Christmas, the big ones,
And let's not forget Lag BaOmer.
Like Advent, like all the Catholic,
That'd be great to have an Advent show.
Or like I was, Legion of Mary show.
Yeah. Advent of Superman. But Vicki Quade, she will be joining the quiz. It'll be Vicki versus David versus Leslie, doing our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Should be a lot of fun. Plus, we will have a new Colorado Limerick of the Damned, honey,
what?
We're going to Hoehne. Hoehne, Colorado.
Spell it.
Hoehne.
Hoehne.
It's not... You know how Coloradans pronounce things. Really, it was like a German guy. Hoehne was probably his name.
Or maybe indigenous. It sounds like an indigenous word.
Yeah, something like that. But
I don't know.
But Coloradans, they flatten everything out. Colorado is not Colorado, it's Colorado. Right. So, well, no, there's a road in Fort Collins that we were going to where it's probably Ziegler Road. Everybody, you see the sign, Ziegler Road. But our GPS decided to call it Ziegler.
And so not the TomTom, which was from the UK, but the one we got in the US too. It's like Ziegler.
Yeah, I guess they both saw Ziegler and pronounced it Ziegler. And now, of course, whenever we pass it, it's Ziegler Road. No, it's Ziegler. Whatever.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had to drive in Fort Collins for a long, long time. So, yeah, how do we get there? Oh, Hoehne. Hoehne, Colorado will be our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And by the way, not only is Rabbi Saul Solomon going to be doing the interview with Lillias White, but he's going to stick around and do a rabbinical reflection. He hasn't done one of these since May, I think. And these are short mini sermons about Jewish life and things in the news. And Rabbi Saul, he's in high dudgeon today. He's going to go off on, of all things, ice cream. Specifically, Ben & Jerry's, because the company, Ben & Jerry's, has made a decision, a socially responsible decision, a political decision, to stop selling ice cream in the West Bank and Gaza and the occupied territories. And Rabbi Saul Solomon has some choice words for the Ben & Jerry company about that. It will be part of our rabbinical reflection, Rabbi Saul, here in the Daverhood. Plus, we'll have Greeley Crimes and Old Times, where we will go to the newspaper of Greeley, Colorado, and pick out, or they pick out for us, some of the funniest phone calls that have come in real life to the Greeley Police Department dispatch, as well as items from the newspaper in Greeley 100 years ago. All of that on Dave's Gone By. Oh, maybe. Joyce is wondering if we've got our internet back, but...
you can let me connect with them at live.
I want to mention, though, before we get to Vicki, Quade, and the guests on our Today Yesterday quiz, that this program is brought to you in part by the folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press. So let's look for W. W for Lillias White. Among the things that Hewlett Minuteman can do for your company, wedding accessories, which includes attendance gifts, balloons, direction cards, ketubas, the marriage certificate things, lace cards, toasting glasses. So if you like a glass nice and warm, but it breaks when you put it in the toaster, they can do that for you. And more, wedding invitations and enclosures, and even wedding programs. All of that. That's just
closure.
And a wedding, enclosure. Oh, I guess you do the invitation and you put them in the envelope thing and the special stuff. All of this in the franchise of Minuteman that you will find in Hewlett, Long Island, that is owned and operated by the Torong family, has been since the mid-1970s. So whether you just want a black and white copy of a page, or thousands and thousands of copies of colored paper.
Remember, if you don't have a fax machine, they could do faxing. They also receive packages for UPS, which I think is a big one.
They receive and they deliver. Yeah, they do UPS.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, it is. What else do they have on the back of this thing? They got digital copy services, bindery, law enforcement printing. I don't know why that's different from... it's funny, for law enforcement printing, they have golf tournament signs and giveaways.
I guess if they want a jacket or something, but not the official police thing. Maybe PBA or something.
Raffle tickets, journals. They're specialists in so many things. It's not just copies. It's Hewlett Minuteman Press, the Copy Kings of Broadway. And if you tell them Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small. So give them a call, 516-569-5577, area code 516-569-5577. Hewlett Minuteman. You know what they are? They're the Copy Kings.
Broadway.
Well, I am king of the world when I get to do this program, thanks to Hotspots, on Saturday mornings here in the Daverhood. It's 9:30 a.m.
How come a hotspot on the Wi-Fi is good, but a hotspot on your pet is bad? A hotspot is remember if you get a hotspot, it's
I got hotspots all over my body. That's why I use a steroidal cream.
I wonder the origin of that word.
Hotspot. Well, I guess it's probably when engineers or whoever are climbing up the things and they... we have a hotspot here. We got this clustery thing. Well, we're going to cluster our guests now because we have live guests coming into the Daverhood to play our Today yesterday Trivium quiz. Joining us in the Daverhood on this morning.
What's Vicki's background? I can't see it.
Vicki's got kind of a sunny. So, and remember, Vicki, you've got to unmute. David, I think you are unmuted.
No, I just
unmuted. It's just a heat wave here in Chicago, you know.
There's a book about that called Heat Wave, which actually where people died. Yeah,
oh, really?
Oh, thanks a lot. Something to look forward to later today.
Hey, David, what are you having for breakfast?
I'm eating an English muffin.
Oh, it looks good. Are you still? You were there last week. That was your backdrop.
We have to check out of here by 11.
By 11. That's why you were very kind to move up, both of you actually. So David made sure that he could be on the program today if we were able to move the quiz a little bit earlier.
Oh, well, yeah, I said I don't know if I can make it, and you graciously said, well, if I made it earlier, would you be able to do it?
And I did, and that's cool. I was also able to do that because our guest was malleable as well. Our wonderful guest, Lillias White.
Oh,
yeah, Lillias White.
That's fantastic that you have her.
Yeah. Well, I think. And so, how are you guys? Well, how was your vacation, David Sheward?
Great. We have one more week to go, so the situation may be the same next week.
Well, wait, where are you going then? You're in Maine now. Where are you going?
We're just moving to another Airbnb. In the next town over, because this one was only available for we wanted 3 weeks. This one was only available for 2, but the realtor said, or the contact person said, oh, well, I have another one that will be available for the next week.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
in the same town, or are you going to go to another part of Maine?
We just one town over. We are in Scarborough, and we are moving over to Old Orchard Beach, which is kind of the wildwood of Maine. It's very there's a pier, and it's got a tattoo parlor and a psychic, and it's like and there's like these sleazy bars where people hang out all day.
Does it have a Ben and Jerry's?
I don't know.
I'm just listening to the program.
I don't think they have a Ben and Jerry's. I don't think they do. But it's like the perfect setting for a murder mystery, because there are all these strange, sketchy people hanging around with their and families visiting, people coming and going.
Well,
it's weird.
So it's interesting that also, Vicki. It's funny because you mentioned Airbnb, who will figure. I happen to know this. Figure into the rabbi's sermon as well about Jerry. So you've got to be listening very, very carefully.
Is he pro or con?
Con. In fact, next con, and the Rabbi Sal will be talking about Ben and Jerry's. They've been in the news because of the. So Rabbi Sal has some pointed words for both Ben and Jerry and for Airbnb, which pulled the same crap, a couple of years ago.
What did they do?
Could we change the name of the ice cream to Jesus and Mary's?
Yeah, that's good.
I would like that.
Jesus and Mary's.
But you won't put nails in it or anything, would you?
Or maybe you call it Jesus and Moses.
and J&M.
And be very.
Actually, Moses would be great because it'd be blueberry ice cream, but there'd be a whole thing in the middle, so it'd just be 2 sides and just dry in between. That would be excellent. Thank you.
Vanilla in between.
Right. All right. Yeah. Right. And Vicki, how was your how was your week?
Oh my goodness, so busy. We're just marketing and printing new material and getting stuff designed. It's really all about still opening.
How do you market? What do you do? Like, do you have a mailing list? Do you have an e-blast list? What do you do?
Yeah, I have a newsletter. I've got about 25,000 names on a newsletter.
Buy some eggs.
So, yeah. Printing, getting a lot of Facebook advertising, being on your show.
You don't need, if you were just on this show, you wouldn't need any of the other.
Nothing. That's right. That's right.
It's interesting. A friend of ours was visiting for the week, and he reads the New York Times every day. The physical New York Times. They're saying, "Oh, this is all. How come they're in it? How can they stay afloat? There's no advertising. There's like one ad in here. How is that possible?" And I said, "I think because of their digital presence, and they and all that." And he said, and I said basically, print advertising is pretty much dead. And he was like, "What? No." I said, "Yeah, print advertising it's gone, or it's very very small.
Leslie.
Hello.
Leslie's
Good
joining us,
morning.
and barely even late at all. That's amazing,
I know.
Leslie.
I know, barely even late. Listen, I'm sorry about David. I didn't want to be late for you, so I'm on my phone. I'm not on my
That's
on my
fine. I was
computer.
telling people earlier in the show, we're by the grace of God, because our internet is out in this area, and I'm on a hotspot. So yeah, so if I lose you, I apologize. And
Okay.
we're hoping, we're just going through the telephone hotspot now, and we're hoping
Okay.
it's okay. But Leslie, actually, I want to ask one more from Vicki. Vicki, for those 25,000 people, do you use MailChimp, or how do you contact them?
No, I do constant contact. And I do a newsletter every month.
Right, but in other words, what's your you can't just send
No,
email
it's
because
constant contact.
you've heard of a thing? It's called
it's a thing.
constant
Oh,
contact.
yeah, it's a thing. It's like MailChimp, but it's constant contact.
Yeah.
So many people over the years, so many people and organizations ask for donations. So and I donate a lot of tickets, and then I'll ask if they're interested in having my newsletter, and then we've just built 20 years of putting names on a newsletter. And,
Oh, great.
yeah.
So every time I've tried constant contact, I get hit with a restraining order. So I've just stopped doing that, basically. Leslie Hoban Blake, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, guys. I'm here.
Thank God. Thank God. This is good. Did you do anything fun this week?
You don't really mean that, David.
Well,
Why not? Why wouldn't he mean
Not
it?
for me. If you ask the others, that's fine. No, I did nothing fun this week. I began radiation treatments this week. Thank you,
okay.
guys.
No, I was. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Not
How you
fun.
feeling?
Not what I'd call fun. Sorry.
Well, I didn't know if that was the whole week or if that was the whatever.
It's the whole week. It's the whole week. It's 21 treatments, 5 days a week.
Oh.
I get the weekends off, so this is my off time. I'm giving you my off time. How's that?
Actually, if my hotspot goes, I can just kind of hold the computer up to Leslie.
That's it. I'll be quite bright by the time this is over.
Well, let's see how bright you are when we play the Today Yesterday quiz.
Good segue.
Well, Leslie, you look fine, and
Right.
you're feeling okay, right? You're smiling, you're feeling all right.
Yeah, it's early days, so I've no reaction whatsoever. They tell me there will be some in the middle. I'm hoping maybe there won't be.
Yeah.
If you don't see me in the middle, that'll be what's going on, okay?
Tell Leslie to eat lots of food and fatten herself up.
Joyce is saying eat lots of food and fatten yourself up.
Oh, bless your heart. No, I'm already too fat, and that's the worst thing I can do for myself, but thank you.
Well, I will say.
Is that a medical thing you're telling me, or you're just telling me that to feel good?
Well, so we had a dachshund. It's a similar thing. He had 31 days of treatment, and they were afraid he would lose weight. So he's like you. He was skinny, so he had to get a little fat. Not like.
But I'm not skinny. I don't know where anybody gets that idea from. I am so not skinny. From here up, I'm not too bad. From here down, forget about it.
No.
And I got to see a naked picture in the room on the thing, and I went, I want a copy of that for my refrigerator, because it's a positioning picture, and it's sideways, and your head isn't in it, and it was more than enough. Is all I can say. More than enough.
But I will say this, Leslie, just so you know, our dachshund lived another 3 years, and it wasn't the big C, but it was another thing that had to be dealt with.
Worse,
I've been given another 10 to 12 years, so don't give me 3 years. Thank you.
Yeah, but a dachshund has a different life cycle, so he was already 14 or 13.
For him was like 3 years for him.
I got you.
So what I'm saying is, he
look,
was fine.
supposedly after surgery, I'm cancer free. This is like a booster shot. Thank you. This is like you do the booster so that you make sure that this particular one shouldn't come back.
Just don't get that Delta cancer, because it's real. It's a bad.
Leslie, you should.
I know.
I milk it for presents, Leslie. I milk everything for presents. You should just solicit presents. That's what I do.
No, I was trying to get people to come and help me come home, only because while I'm fine now and it's in a great area, it's in the meatpacking district. So, I could.
I thought you meant the actual location of the thing. It's like, you have a meat pack where? I just saw you're not wearing pants, but I'm kind of wondering. Anywho, wow.
But they do say the best medicine.
Anyway, though, so far, my sister and another friend have been my coming home people, and it's just so much fun. We're at Chelsea Market, and then around the corner, every restaurant.
We're having some fun things to do. See, I told you.
So yes, so that's how I'm doing it, Joyce. Rather than I mean, I do go for lunch, so I guess I am eating, but not to put on weight, just to have a good time and be out of the house before the Delta gets me,
Yeah, and all of us.
I know, that's how I'm.
Yeah, let's just beg people for presents and good.
But enough about me. Let's David.
Let's play the game. Let's do it. Let's.
David has to leave. I'm only doing this at this hour because David has to leave. David, this is all for you.
That's yeah. Everybody woke up like.
We may have to do it again next week because that's when we have to get out of the next place.
Again, the question is whether I will be able to. So that's
if you can.
The interesting part is that the Airbnb host said somebody called Leslie called and said they have to check out.
Yeah, I'm trying to psych David out for the show.
That's what we got him early, so he's barely awake.
Oh, so if there's a knock on the door, you know who it is.
At 4:30 in the morning, it's like you have to leave.
But I have one question left.
Yes, David will knock on the door, but then we'll sing through Three's Company theme song.
All right.
And you'll have to join us because you know all the words and nobody else does.
Or the Susan Summers Thigh Master.
So guys, I will and at this point we will give it to Vicki because she has been the least part of this. Vicki, could you kindly pick a number between 1 and 6? And
Good morning, Vicki. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. 4.
4 for the Victor, okay, and ladies.
The Victor? I love it. The Victor. Oh, I love it.
Mademoiselle Blake, if you could.
Oh, you're letting the ladies go first. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, David, but
I would take 2 this week, please.
Okay. Oh, you're not going with a 6. Okay, and
David, you don't pay attention. I go between 2 and 6, and you don't pay attention.
I don't pay attention at all. I'm barely even here.
4. The numbers are 4 and 2. That have been chosen.
Yeah, 4 and 2 have been chosen. Yes.
4 and 2 have been chosen.
Yes, sir.
I have to go with 5.
5, David with the big 5. You'll have to excuse. It's going to be a little tougher for me to keep score and read all these things because I wasn't able to print out the stuff, so I have it on my computer in front of me. So it's going to be a little bit weirder than you, even weirder than you.
Is that even possible?
Thank you. 2 women said that. Thank you so much. Let's roll the die. And amazingly enough, it came up. The one you didn't take, Leslie, boxcar 6, which is closest to David. So, David Sheward, would you like to go first, second, or third?
First. David
going first. Let's roll that puppy again.
Mario Andretti move.
Now it goes to 5, which is still closest to David, but second closest to Vicki. Vicki, do you want to go second or third?
Second.
All right. Vicki second, and then Leslie bringing up the rear. So we will know, but I'll tell anybody who's never seen this program before that here's the deal. It's a trivia quiz. We've got questions, and each question is worth 2 points if the person gets it right. If they don't, no penalty, but someone else gets to steal and get those 2 points. It goes in 3 rounds with each person getting 1 question per round, and then a tiebreaker whether we need it or not. Are you guys all ready?
Yes.
Yay, okay, here we go. And now I've got.
Sounds so good.
You know, they're like,
whatever. Okay, whatever.
I told you I would be here at 9:30. I cannot promise my brain will be.
And there was
it's hot here in Chicago.
All right, much rejoicing. Here we go. Let us begin with we got David Sheward going first. So here's David's question. The year was 1823. By proclamation, Chile abolishes slavery today. But which of these is not true about Chile?
Lin-Manuel Noriega.
Give the man so he won. David won. He won the game.
A, they're better con carne. No. All right. A, the world's oldest mummies came from Chile. B, Chileans eat a lot of bread all year round except for 3 weeks in the spring when it's traditional to give up wheat until the harvest. C, Moby Dick was inspired by whaling accidents off the coast of Chile. Or D, the biggest swimming pool in the world is in Chile.
Okay, so which of these is not true?
Not true.
That Moby Dick is what?
I'll read them again. So one of these is not true about Chile. Is it A, the world's oldest mummies came from Chile? I can't speak for the daddies. B, Chileans eat a lot of bread all year round, except for 3 weeks in spring, when it's traditional to give up wheat until the harvest. C, Moby Dick was inspired by whaling accidents off the coast of
whaling
Chile.
Accidents. Okay.
You know, whaling accidents off the coast of Chile. Or D, the biggest swimming pool in the world is in Chile.
All right.
One of these is not true.
Now, Chile is very narrow, right? So I don't think the swimming pool one is true because it's not wide enough to have a big swimming pool.
Your country can't handle a pool.
Yeah. Moby Dick, any of these could not be true. They all sound false. They all sound like a lie.
Welcome to my life, David.
No comment. I mean, I'm not going to give you the obvious punchline to that one. That's what she said. Or that's what you said last night. I'm going to go with.
Is that a swimming pool? You're just happy to see me.
Which of these is not true? Okay, the swimming pool is not true.
The swimming pool is not true. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to dunk you on that one. That is not the correct answer. I can't make a note on the thing that's going on.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to, I'm going to merrily roll a die, which comes up the number 3, which is between Vicki and Leslie, so it's it's between them. I'm going to roll again.
Roll again.
We get to the number 5. A lot of high numbers today. 5 is closest to Vicki. Vicki, do you want to steal, potentially, this particular questione?
Okay, I'm going to go with the bread answer.
You're going to go with the bread. That is not true. That's
correct.
Okay.
I'm going to say that's not true.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, even though it is early Saturday morning, you haven't been loafing. That is the correct answer. Well done. Made that one up. All the other things are true. Moby Dick, 2 different accidents happened right off Chile that Melville heard about and wrote about. Oldest mummies. Amazingly enough, there's a spirit cave mummy that was found in 1940 from 5000 BC, which makes it like 2,000 years older than the oldest Egyptian mummies anybody's ever found. So kind of.
I have a quick question. Has nothing to do with mummies. What is your background, Vicki? Are you on the sun this morning?
It's going to get to 100 degrees in Chicago today.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot. In fact, I'm going to bring some of my plants in from my deck.
The background to make sure that it will go to 120 where you are. Okay, I got it.
Like that Twilight Zone episode where the woman is.
Right. Oh, I remember that one. It was
Las Vegas.
Well, actually, speaking of Chicago and things getting hot, I read like a Facebook thing. How's your friend, Vicki? Did someone you?
Oh yes, my neighbor. My neighbor was attacked just 2. He's okay. He had a concussion. He was attacked by a kind of a gang of young people, which has been happening more and more in Chicago.
Awful.
And he was beaten just 2 blocks away. He was on his way to a subway station, an L, for transportation. And these kids just jumped him.
And it's been happening. I mean, even I would think during the pandemic when streets were emptier, this would happen. But it's happening more now.
I think it's happening more now, and I think it's just frustration,
and heat. But what frustration of what?
There's a lot of it. They keep showing it on the news every night in Manhattan. Right.
Well, no job. People are not working. People don't. There are jobs available, but a lot of people aren't taking them. I just think it's anger. We've been inside for almost 18 months now, right? Getting close to it.
There are also illegitimate gangs who for whom this is a rite of passage of some kind.
That's it. It's like a right, exactly. It's an initiation.
Yeah, it's an initiation thing.
All right. He's
But
like a concussion.
what's interesting is that the victims are random. They're totally random. It's not like it's hate crimes. The hate crimes is something else. This is, sometimes it's an old person, sometimes it's a young person. It seems to be totally random. I just
Because I go back and forth between seeing the headline and the front page of the New York Post, and the New York Post has a political thing to make it looked like New York is going completely to hell because they want to get a Republican mayor in instead of Democrat. But there's also this thing of, is New York going to completely to hell? Is Chicago going to hell? Are there these major urban...
I don't know about Los Angeles, but definitely those Chicago, New York, and other big cities. It's Minnesota.
Yes.
Milwaukee is having problems.
Right.
It seems to be a countrywide thing, and I think Vicki may be onto something. It's frustration. And then when people are able to go without masks and go on the street, it's celebration. I mean, if you have to find a reason, I think it's totally there. I just don't think there are reasons for this. I think we are going to hell, by the way. I think or maybe it's already happened. I'm not quite sure which.
Well, I think people said the same thing in the 1960s and 70s.
Well, we were.
No, I was in the 1960s and 70s. I first said it was hell.
We're still here.
No.
Midtown Manhattan, do you remember 8th Avenue in the 1970s? Come on.
I lived on 8th Avenue in the 1970s.
I'm just saying, when you say go to hell, that suggests it's the end, it's like the end of everything, but it's a
we asked for certain things that we were not going to get. So the answer to our request was go to hell. We asked for help with certain kinds of things, and that was the answer. It wasn't spontaneous. He got up one morning and said, "Hey, New York, go to hell." His response was, "I'm not giving you anything. Go to hell."
Well, as Ford to New York dropped dead or something, or that was the famous.
But that was in the 70s. I've forgotten. It was Bush, right? It was Bush 1.
Ford.
It was Ford. Gary Ford.
Gary Ford. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, it's 9:30, 9:45, 10. I don't know what time.
Anywho, let's get on to happier subjects. Our hellish little program here called Dave's Gone By, where we are doing the Today, Yesterday quiz. And speaking of something heavenly, we've got a woman who plays a nun, for gosh sakes. Her name is Vicki Quade, and she is going, and just this week, I have started a new aspect to the quiz. We may not do it every week, but it's a new wrinkle. Ooh. Okay. A new kind of question. It's kind of a little bit like password, except it's just for you. It's called 3 Clues in the News. 3 clues in the... I'm going to give you 3 seemingly random...
You're listening to Wait, Don't Tell Me. I get it. Okay, all right.
That's where this whole thing came from years ago. All right, so 3 clues in the news. I'm going to give you 3 seemingly random words, but they're all connected in some way, or could be connected, to the word I want from you, something to do with the news. Okay?
All right.
But this is just for Vicki. But you can all listen. But it's Vicki's question. It's 3 clues in the news.
Oh, it's Vicki's question. I see. Okay.
Right. Ready, Vicki?
Yes.
3 clues in the news. Mississippi, force, dawn.
Mississippi, and it's in the news now. Force. Mississippi, force, dawn. Mississippi, force, dawn. I don't know.
I know.
Mississippi force. There has to be some force, some task force. A task force in Mississippi.
Keep going. Brainstorm it, Vicki. Brainstorm it.
Something about dawn, something about the morning. I don't know.
Think of a song, a music song.
You can't help.
It's a new thing.
There's got to be a morning after. Wait a minute. Something about the morning. Just call me Angel of the Morning. I don't know.
Just brush my teeth before you leave. Okay.
I don't know.
Do you want to take a
wild guess? There's a task force. A task force out of Jackson, Mississippi. It's the Jackson 5. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, so this is a stealable question here. So I'm going to roll the die because David's smiling like the Cheshire Cat here. I wonder if he'll get. So here's the deal. It came up at number 3, which is closest to Leslie. Leslie Hoban Blake, can you take this?
Am I allowed to ask a question? Am I allowed to ask a question?
You can ask, but I don't know if I can answer it. That's
okay. Is it a single word? Is it a title that you're looking for? I have a couple of thoughts, but you said it's in the news now. So like it's not an old song title, for example, if it's in the news now.
It's called 3 Clues in the News. That is a hint. And it is, I can say, it is a single word. That's
okay. Thank you.
These are words that
so I'm just gonna say vaccination because that's what everything is going on, and Mississippi is highly unvaccinated. So I'm gonna say vaccination.
You're so close, Leslie. So close.
Leslie, you took a good shot at it, but no, that is not the correct answer.
Okay.
Word connections. Think of password.
If I could get it, David's got it.
Well, here's the deal. I'll read the thing again. 3 clues in the news.
Okay.
3 words. I'm looking at the next one. Here we go. Because each of you will get one of these during the quiz.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which I have to get back to. Mississippi, force, dawn.
Let's see. Mississippi force, dawn. Well, I don't know, Bert Convey. Let me see here.
I'll be Charles Nelson Riley. Hello.
Well, yesterday was Bert Convey's birthday.
I didn't know this.
Facebook. I don't know. I was on. Somebody posted on Facebook. Let's see.
I wonder if all week you're tearing up pages off the cat. Oh, 6 days to Bert Convey's birthday. Oh.
Dawn, what's that flower you got on? Is a force from days gone by. All right, Mississippi force, dawn force.
3 unrelated words, but they're related to the word we're looking for.
I don't know. Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. I don't know.
I think I know it now. I think I got it.
Wait, hold on, Leslie. I'll let you do it, not for points, but David, do you want to?
Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island,
who was actually on our show. But,
get it?
well, it's not in. You got it.
What is it?
I just got it.
What is it?
What's a physical thing about Mississippi? Like a physical, geographical, topological?
I got it. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
It's the Delta virus.
Delta dawn.
Mississippi Delta force.
Yeah.
Delta.
That's it. I got it. Now I get the quiz.
Now I get the whole format. I didn't get the format. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, nobody lost any points on that, so
it is like password. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said it's like password.
Okay.
David Sheward, I've been watching Password. I saw Gene Kelly and that pretty Nancy Rush, Barbara Rush play. And Gene Kelly was surprisingly good.
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we have a still 2-0 game with Vicki in the lead here on the Today Yesterday quiz on Dave's Gone By Dancing Vicki. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, by the way, Eastern time. Here in the Daverhood, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. It's the 808th episode of the show, live on this Saturday, July 24th, 2021. We'll have Lillias White in the Daverhood in a bit, and we're playing the game with Leslie Hoban Blake, Vicki, Quade, and David Sheward. So, your question,
I have a question. My question is, why can't Joyce put a hand in like White Fang and Blacktooth on the old Soupy Sales show? Why can't she just put a hand in or something to let us know?
That's rather personal.
Yeah, well, she does put a hand in, sometimes if I'm impacted. But
God help me.
No, but she's, to be quite honest, I'm over at a desk by a window, and she's sitting on the bed, and she would have to have exceptionally long arms for her to physically, because sometimes she sits a lot closer.
They weren't real arms. Those things weren't real arms anyway. You can put something on a stick and just put it through. I was just being facetious. I suddenly thought it'd be kind of cute if when she talked, something came on.
She has sometimes done that.
What I did for Red Bull, I fixed her.
Yeah. When I was just
I see the ruler.
when they were interviewing me for Restoration Playhouse on the Red Bull Theater Company. You know, as I'm literally going to go, and the director's looking at me, and then the artistic director of the theater, and Joyce is like, you know, fluffing my hair and pushing dandruff off my shoulders. I'm like, thanks, hon, thanks, hon, thanks, hon. You know, it's like, these are people who are going to make. They're not really going to do anything for my career, but these are people who right now are doing something for my career. So, you know. Have you guys all seen my play since
No, I don't know how to find. I went to Red Bull. I did what you said. I went to Red Bull. I could not find it on YouTube.
Really? I found it. I saw it live.
Those two.
Oh, you saw it live. Thank you.
You did. My problem is I missed it live. I held on to the link too long, and the day I tried the link, it had already ended.
Oh, well.
So, you know, I really, really want to. That's why I asked you if I could read the script, because I really would like to see it.
You can. DaveLefkowitz.org. It's printed there. So, David,
you can, but seeing it was so much better.
That.
I mean, they really brought it to life. You know, that the banter was so great.
And Mr. East, West, North, South. And what's your excuse?
I'm on vacation.
You only want to do fun things on vacation.
We were doing some. Oh, I forget. Was it Monday? What night? I forget what night it was. But we were.
But you can watch the. If you're on Facebook, you can go to Red Bull's Facebook page anytime and catch it. All right. Let's do some more
on their Facebook page.
Yeah, if you go to Red Bull Theater's Facebook page, for some reason they've taken my play. And it's like their first post. It's like 10 minutes long. You literally don't have to watch the whole thing. Just my show. Weird.
I will take a look at it.
There. Next question. We're on to our third question in our Today Yesterday quiz to finish out round one with Leslie getting this question directly. Are you ready, Leslie?
Sure.
And she'll give the video. Here we go. Multiple choice time. Published today in 2 North Carolina newspapers is the first public opinion poll, with Andrew Jackson leading John Quincy Adams by nearly double the vote. Speaking of polls, which of these famous people was not Polish? Yes, I love this.
I'm part Polish, so take it easy.
Are you? Well, so you'll get it wrong. No, here it is. Who of these is not Polish? A. David Ben-Gurion. B. Rudolf Serkin. C. Joseph Conrad. D. Madame Curie.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Interesting. At least I know who all 4 of those people are, which is a big plus. What? Let me make sure. Ben-Gurion, Serkin, Madame Curie, and
Joseph Conrad.
Joseph Conrad. The obvious choice would be Joseph Conrad, but I know that's wrong because I remember something about name change, and I shouldn't say this all out loud, so I'm going to stop thinking out loud. I'm going to say Rudolf Serkin.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, not only do you have a lock on that answer, you have a Pollock on that answer. It was indeed Rudolf Serkin, because Serkin was born in Bohemia. He was Czech. But yes, Madame Curie. Her name was Marie Sklodowska from Warsaw.
They named something polonium after her too. I mean, you know that.
Oh, did they really? Oh, I didn't. That I didn't really. Okay, so Leslie Hoban Blake, you have 2 points.
Vicki, we're tied.
Girl power. Girl power.
But never count David Sheward out, because he's only down. And we're going into the second round.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. The next round begins with David Sheward. And David, now that everybody kind of knows how this works, you get to play 3 clues in the news.
Okay.
Rogers, Pearl, Wild.
Wait, say it again?
Rogers, Pearl, Wild.
Well, let me see. Rogers, Pearl, Wild. Rogers. And it's in the news. And it's a single word and it's in the news.
Yes.
Okay. Rogers, Pearl, Wild?
Yep.
Well, it's too early for the Oscars. Rogers, Hammerstein, Pearl Buck, Oscar Levant, Oscar Madison, Rogers Madison, Rogers, Pearl Buck, Madison, Wildfire, what's that fire called? Bootleg, flooding.
A hard one.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Say it again.
Yeah.
I'll say the names again.
Rogers,
Pearl, Wild.
Wild.
And a word that goes with all of them.
Rogers.
Oh, I know it.
Okay. Okay. Now there is Buck Rogers and there is Pearl Buck. I don't know about Buck Wild, but so I'm going to say Buck.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, give this man $100, $1,000, because it is Buck. You got it. That was the thing. It was, and the Bucks won. The Milwaukee Bucks won Game 6 of the NBA championships over the Phoenix.
But who is Oscar Buck?
There was, huh? No.
Wild.
No. Wait.
Oscar Wilde. No, it was Buck Wild, which is
Buck Wild.
Okay. Gordon Buck Wild. Buck
Oh.
Rogers in the 21st or whatever century,
Okay.
and for some and Pearl S. But when you said Pearl Buck, I thought, okay, he's got it. That's it. So
Okay.
my eyes went like whoop, and I tried like, oh. But well done, David Sheward.
I realized Buck Rogers. Yeah, I remember that.
So
That's a harder one. I thought.
well,
Particularly since I'm not a sports person, I never would have gotten it otherwise.
well done. We have a tie game. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, it's tied. I'm fit to be tied, and so are you guys. And we have our next question in our second round going directly to you, Vicki. So you can take the lead if you get this right. Now, Vicki, being all of you really, being theater people, you're all familiar with kitchen sink drama. But today was the kitchen sink debate. It was held at an exhibition and televised the next day. Who were the two master debaters on the year?
He had to do it.
I'm very sorry.
He had to do master debaters. He had to do that.
Debaters.
Yes, I'm very, very sorry. I need to. Oh no, I can't. Well, I can check the internet. Hold on.
Yes, you can, honey.
This is my fault. I do need to. Okay, the year was 1959. The year was 1959. Okay, forgive me for not mentioning that part.
I'm going to say it's Nixon and Kennedy.
Wow.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, I can give you 1 point for that answer. So Vicki gets 1 point in question number 5, but I need to, or I can, throw open the, where's my roller die? Here it is. Gonna roll this over. We get a number 1, which is closest to Leslie. Leslie Hoban Blake, do you want to steal this
I think it was Nixon and Khrushchev.
Yeah.
I think it was Nixon and Khrushchev. Do I only get 1 point because she already got Nixon? Is that okay?
Well,
Yeah.
if you get your part right, is that your final
It
answer?
is.
Yeah, Khrushchev.
The minute I said it, I thought, oh, it's Khrushchev.
Now, see, I was worried that you'd be rushing into a decision, but yes, it was Leslie Hoban Blake at that point. So, ladies
Excellent.
and gentlemen, so
Good job, Leslie.
Neck and neck, Vicki. Neck and neck.
I am tracking. I'm tracking, but I need to count them up this way. So hold on.
Oh,
Just check.
2
Oh,
plus 1 is 3. David, it's 2 plus 1 is 3. I think is the answer.
Thank you, Leslie.
David
So
is not-
Leslie does have 3 points.
David is not good in the math. He's not.
It's 3-3-2.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm remember.
That adds up
tough for me.
to 8. So we have all kinds of things going on.
I think
So-
we're
And there's an 8 behind your head, David. So
That's right.
Oh yeah.
There are 2 8s. That would be 16.
Ah.
So it's using the Dr. Sue method.
Is
of
it-
counting.
No, what happened was I was so concentrated on bringing this new wrinkle to the show that I kind of forgot the old wrinkle of including the years for the other question.
Oh,
So I want
oh,
to make sure that
okay.
I do
Okay.
this.
yeah, but when you said kitchen sink, that was the clue.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that was called the kitchen sink debates, as I recall.
Yeah, because it was an exhibition, and they actually built an American-style house
Right.
in Russia with like all these gadgets
Right.
and things, and yeah. So you guys knew. I wouldn't have known that one anyway. So congratulations so far to Vicki and Leslie, tied at 3 points apiece, but David is only 1 point behind. So we get to our sixth question, which is going directly to Leslie. Leslie, you can take the lead.
Directly to moi. Go ahead.
Here we go. It's a multiple choice. The year 1974.
Oh.
Released today by Paramount Pictures' Death Wish, starring Charles Bronson as Paul Kersey, a former conscientious objector turned crime victim and then Avenger.
Wait, everybody, before you ask the question, everybody realizes that this question is going to have nothing to do with any of those things, right? it'll be about Polish again because Bronson was really Polish or something like that. Okay, go ahead.
Actually, in this case, you are wrong, Leslie. So here we go.
Oh, okay, good.
Which of these is true about Death Wish?
Oh, okay.
It's actually directly a thing.
Okay.
Here we go. So one of these is true about Death Wish. A, the producer wanted to name the film Sidewalk Vigilante because he didn't like having the word death in the title. B, Roger Ebert originally gave the film 2 stars, but then re-reviewed the film and lowered it to 1 star because of its violent message. C, Eli Roth's 2018 Death Wish remake is set in the Bronx rather than Midtown Manhattan. Or D, Quincy Jones received his 5th Oscar nomination for the film's soundtrack.
Which one is not true?
Yes, all of these are true, but... wait, no, excuse me, hold it. Which of these is true? They are all false, except one.
Change of title, Quincy Jones, The Bronx, and
Ebert.
One more. And Ebert. Okay. This I have to tell you which one is true.
Right.
Change of title, Roger Ebert, The Bronx, and Quincy Jones. Is true. Eli Roth said his remake in the Bronx instead of Manhattan.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, Leslie, the Bronx may be up, but your battery's running down. That is not the correct answer, so we're going to have to roll the die. And that was a pretty cool showbiz. Yeah, nobody laughed. All right, here we go. We're going to roll the die, and we come up with Leslie's number 2, which I'm going to flush back down.
Can I have another choice? A chance? I don't know.
But it means that Vicki with a number 4 is closest to the answer. So Vicki, I'll read this. I'll read the choices again. So here's the deal. Released today by Paramount Pictures in 1974, Death Wish. Which of these is true about Death Wish? Is it A, the producer wanted to name the film Sidewalk Vigilante because he didn't like the word death in the title? B, Roger Ebert originally gave the film 2 stars, but then re-reviewed the film and lowered that to 1 star because of the violent message? Or D, Quincy Jones received his 5th Oscar nomination for the film's soundtrack?
So what is true? What is true? I'm going to say Ebert is true.
You're going to go with Roger Ebert, lowering the rating.
Yes.
Oh, Vicki, I'm afraid you get 0 stars for that answer. That is not the correct answer. That is a false thing. That is not a true thing. So David Sheward, can take the lead. And never look back. You have a 50-50 shot at this one.
What are my choices?
Your 2 remaining choices on Death Wish. One of these is true. Is it A, the producer wanted to name the film Sidewalk Vigilante because he didn't like having the word death in the title? Okay. Or is it D, Quincy Jones received his 5th Oscar nomination for the film's soundtrack?
So one of those is true.
Yeah.
I think it's the title change.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
A title by any other name would smell as sweet. That is the correct answer. That is true. He was worried death would scare away people rather than bring them to the theater, or would be perceived as too violent, or etc. Kind of was. But yeah, that is exactly what happened. And here's the deal. Ebert actually gave Death Wish 3 stars but he was ambivalent about the film's message. But that's all. There was no changing of any things. And well, the message.
And it's all right to kill people.
Yeah,
Oh,
vigilante
right.
killing. Yeah,
To be a vigilante, if somebody,
Yeah.
an eye for an eye. It's an eye for an eye.
To
Which
take
I
the
believe
law
in.
into your own hands. Yeah.
It's a biblical story.
and then says the nun. And just so you know, Eli Roth did change the remake. He moved it to Chicago, of all places. And
Even better.
the Death Wish soundtrack was the first major project musically by Herbie Hancock. It wasn't Quincy Jones at all. So there you go. Guess who's leading?
David.
At the end of the second round, David Sheward now has 4 points to Vicki and Leslie's 3.
Come on, Vicki, we can do this.
We can do this, Leslie. We'll
Girl
help each other.
power.
Vicki.
Here we go.
Oh my God, David, that was sad.
I know.
Please don't yell out
Girl power. Because I honestly don't. I'm a male. I'm a middle-aged male. I don't really believe in it. I just say the right things.
You better believe in it, Buster.
Reinforce
How
it.
dare you not believe it? How dare you not believe in girl power?
Power.
Well, I believe girls should be empowered to get me breakfast, to clean, to do the window.
Oh.
Wait, what the hell is this? What is this, Vicki?
Slap in your face.
Oh. Ow.
You grew up in a matriarch.
I did. Well, sort of.
Remember that episode of Maude where John Wayne guest starred?
Wayne?
Yeah,
Little
John Wayne
lady.
guest starred on
Little
Maude.
lady.
And he said something like, I'm fine. I can't do a good John Wayne. I'm fine with women's lib as long as she has dinner on the table when I come home. And then Beatrice Arthur comes out like this,
That wasn't a bad John Wayne, by the way. That really wasn't. So well done, David.
He comes out like Charles Bronson, right?
Wasn't Polish enough for Charles Bronson. So we move into the third round of our yesterday quiz.
We have a choice. You're asking it like we can answer you. You say, "Shall we?"
No, I said so we move into the third round.
Oh, speaking of Polish, do you know why there are no ice cubes in Poland?
Because somebody lost the recipe. There is not a Polish joke that exists that I don't know. But you know what my favorite one is? Did you hear about the girl who was pregnant? She didn't know whether to get an abortion or not because she couldn't be sure the baby was hers.
Oh my Lord.
That's my very favorite.
Couldn't be sure if the baby was hers.
Right, yeah.
Listen, you notice you did what everybody does. There's a half a second there where you parse that sentence because you know something's wrong, but you can't figure out what it is. It's not the obvious. All the others are obvious.
Well, Vicki, you haven't told a Polish joke yet. Do you want to chime in?
Oh my goodness, I am part Polish.
Don't mind. Well, not really.
No, I don't.
Polish.
I mean, no.
Do you know in England, all Polish jokes are Irish?
Sure.
Oh, and blonde jokes.
That's not a joke.
That's
That's not a joke. It's true.
Yeah. I'm sure that's in all societies. Instead of Polish, it's something else.
In Japan, there are Ainu jokes, of course.
Yeah, and Joyce just saying in South Asia, they're Sikh. They get the brunt of it.
Right.
And I love Sikh humor, so there you go. I just.
Oh.
Do you all know this one? This is a my last, and I promise we'll get to it.
Gotta move on. Yeah.
Gotta tell. Oh, yeah, it's 20 after 10, Dave. You should have time to check out and stuff. We'll get you out of here. But I'll save my Polish one. So let's get on with the quiz. Which let's see where we at. We're just starting round 3, and round 3 begins with David Sheward. So here we go. Are you ready, David?
Yes.
You can pile onto your lead here. The year 1978. It's a quote. We begin with a quote. One's a born liar, the other's convicted. That quote hit the sports pages today and cost the speaker his job as an MLB manager, though he'd be back. For 1 point each, who's the born liar and who was the convicted one?
This is a sports question, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. A born liar, 1978.
Correct.
What happened that was too early for somebody like Pete Rose, I guess. That came out much later. And so who's the born liar and who's the convicted one?
Right.
Oh, and then it was too early for O.J. Simpson to be convicted. It was too early for 78. What happened in 78? Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. I don't know.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's just a guess.
Well, I'm glad you put up a fight, David Sheward, but that is not the correct answer. So let's spin this little wheel, and let's see what we got here. Well, came up with number 2 again. So number 2 is Leslie Hoban Blake.
I have a question. Can I get a point or a half a point if I know who said it?
No, that is not. So don't tell us because it might give
That's
it away.
the only part I know.
Yeah.
That's who said it. I don't remember who it was about.
Dr. Sue.
I have no idea.
Well, if you think you know who said it, think about the type of people.
I understand that, and I think that David might have been on the right track. Did he? No, he didn't get any points. He said Muhammad Ali and
Joe Frazier.
It was just a guess.
No, I would have thought maybe Ali because he was convicted for his not going to Vietnam. But why would the sports figures? And it wasn't Pete Rose because he said that already. So, or he didn't say it as an answer, but he said it was the wrong time. Who was him? I don't know. I was there. I was around. I think I was in grad school.
I'll read the question again. It was 1978. Quote,
yeah.
One's a born liar, the other's convicted. That quote hit the sports pages today and ended up costing the speaker his job as an MLB manager, although he'd be back for 1 point each. Who's the born liar and who was convicted?
Okay, wait a minute now. They don't have to be sports figures. He might have been maligning political figures and gotten into the news and gotten into trouble. Maybe. So who was convicted and who was
not saying me.
Okay, wait a minute now. What was the first one? I know what convicted is. What's a born liar? Okay, Nixon and Spiro Agnew.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I'm trying to make this make sense. Go ahead.
I admit it was a tricky question, but it wasn't about Tricky Dick. No, that is not. Neither of those is the correct answer. So, Vicki, Quade, you want to take a shot at this one?
I'm not going to get it because I've been thinking this whole time. 1978 MLB. Right. Cost this person their job, but they came back.
Right.
That's the clue, I think. Yeah. If you can figure out
given the name of the person saying it, I thought that would be too it would give it away. But I'm not sure.
I think I know who said it, and I don't know.
Convicted liar.
And one's born liar, the other's convicted.
Born liar. I mean, I do like to think, and it was in the sports news.
Right.
A born liar. Boy, oh boy. And nobody said Pete Rose, although that's the first thing that came into my head as one of the two being convicted. I'm going to say Pete Rose is one of the answers, but the other one I don't know.
So is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, this is the second time I'm using this joke. A rose by any other name does not smell sweet for you. Vicki, Quade, here is the deal. If I give the person who said it, so I think the New Yorkers might get it then. The manager was Billy Martin.
Billy Martin, right.
Well, so you did. Okay, so you did know that.
I knew Billy Martin, but I don't know who he was talking about.
He was actually talking about the born, quote-unquote, liar, Reggie Jackson, and the convicted one was George Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner was convicted of selling money to the Nixon camp. So you had Nixon there, but in a very different way. So it was a big deal on the New York sports pages.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Billy Martin was fired and taken back for so many years that he was a legend for that part. That I knew.
Yeah, so he was the one who he'd be back. That I thought that was a clue-ish, but
my husband Jerry, he knew it. Yeah. Jerry knew it.
He didn't look clue-ish, actually.
Thank you very much. Did you know that George Steinbrenner invested in a couple of Broadway? He was on Applause, I think. If you look on the cast album of Applause, he's one of the.
I did applause all up and down the Northeast Corridor. That was my main source of income for quite a while there.
And that's where you got the clap. It's an applause joke. All right. Anyway,
Leslie, you didn't do it at the Valley Forge Music Fair, did you? With Ava Gabor?
No. We were nearby though. I was in several.
She was Margot. She was,
Ava Gabor, really?
Yes.
Say that again.
Ava Gabor. No, Ava Gabor did Applause.
Yes, I know. It's unbelievable. I know.
But when I saw it, she had broken her ankle, and we got her understudy.
Jaja was her understudy.
Well, what?
Jaja was the under. Oh, good.
One at a time. Yes. Jaja was what?
Her understudy.
Thank you. Okay. Leslie, you were going to say?
Very funny.
Okay. All right, let's move on. That's on.
I can only imagine that a broken ankle would have improved her performance, but that's just me.
I said this before. Frank Gorshin, the very next week, was doing Promises, and he broke his ankle, but he went on anyway.
Was there something?
What voice did he use?
Oh, I think our internet's restored.
I guess they forged ahead. Get it?
Our internet is restored.
You can go on the Wi-Fi. Apparently, finally, our internet is working, but I'm still on the hotspot. Yay! So let's move on because I know Dave wants to. You have time, Dave, but we have a couple more questions in our yesterday quiz. So here's the deal. Next question will go to Vicki Quade. So Vicki, you can leap ahead of David Sheward. We got this question correct. The year, so long ago, 2018. Here's the definition of irony. Hospitalized today is this young singer whose drug overdose comes just 3 days after the release of their single, Sober. Name that pop star.
I know this. I remember this. And I can't remember the name.
Oh, everybody looks so nice. I can actually see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2018, Sober. And I should know the name.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm just totally blanking on it. And I should know it because I remember this, but.
You can, take a stab?
No.
All right. Bobby Sherman. No, all right, well, we're going to roll the die, and we're going to see who can try.
My Leslie, you can get this.
I'm trying.
Well, let's see. We come up with a number 4, which is actually closer to David. So David.
All right, read the question again.
Sure. The year was 2018. Okay. Here is the definition of irony. Hospitalized today is this young singer whose drug overdose comes just 3 days after the release of their single, Sober. Name that pop star.
Okay, now it's not the I can't think of her name that did Rehab because she was dead by then.
Right.
The British girl.
You mean Amy Winehouse? Yes, she was dead by then.
I was trying to think of her name, but I couldn't think of it. But she was dead by then.
Yeah.
Lucky her. So.
Yeah. So it may be Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Who was the one that's always in trouble? Is it Britney Spears?
Me. Yeah.
It's not Lady Gaga. I don't think she drinks that much. Who is that girl? The girl that's always in trouble. Is it Britney Spears? And it's not Lindsay Lohan because she's an actress. She's not a singer. Oh, maybe it's Miley Cyrus. No, Lindsay's was not a bad actress. Maybe it's Miley Cyrus.
Ooh.
I'll say Miley Cyrus.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, since you're leaving from one town to another, you have Miley's to go before you sleep, David Sheward, but that is not the correct answer.
Oh.
Leslie Hoban Blake, would you like to steal?
Yeah, Leslie.
I also thought, because you're very cagey about the pronoun. You put the pronoun in as there, so we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but you said young. So Lindsay Lohan has already aged out of the young category. She's already in her 30s somewhere.
Oh,
But I was thinking Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
going
what I was
to
thinking.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Justin Bieber.
Final answer, Leslie?
Yeah.
Well, even I won't make a Bieber joke at this point, but no. The reason I used there, and I hate using that kind of pronoun thing, but it was a specific choice by this performer who's non-binary stuff, and her name, their name, can't deal with that.
Oh, I know who it is.
Who? Demi Lovato.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize it was a conscious choice on their part.
I'm barely aware of them.
Me too.
I know, that's the
Isn't it? You're a teacher. We're all teachers.
I've heard the name.
But it's nice of you. It's nice of you to use the pronoun correctly.
I've heard the name. I just don't know that much about, and I didn't know they referred to themselves as they.
Yeah, that's a bit more recent, but they did. They chose that. I hate that.
You need a new pronoun.
Not being a non-binary person, I don't know. I don't know what that feels like, and I have no problem with it.
I want to be an it. Or you call me Chair. Chair says.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have my wig, so I could be cousin it for the ad.
I understand the reason for it. Just find another word but they, because it's plural. It freaks me out. I hate it.
It's non-gendered. So the reason people use they is because it's not this idea of like, and I speak languages that feminize and use masculine and feminine. It's like Latinx. It's like, why do you have to gender?
Right, but I'm saying they can choose a word like glurp. Because glurp is,
You can be absolved of this gender.
I gave it to glurp,
I can't say it because that means non-human.
Yeah, no.
Right,
Yes.
that's why I
come up with a new pronoun. I mean, there could be something creative.
Like when people introduce me, and now I'm coming into a room and it's all noisy, they go, shh, it. So there you go.
Or cousin it from the Addams family.
Unfortunately, we have our last question in our third round, and this is going to go to Leslie Hoban Blake. And Leslie, now that you know how this all works, you get 3 clues. What?
No pressure. Okay.
Wasn't Leslie on a show that they did? No, she was on the
To tell the truth.
The lie one where you lie.
Yeah, to tell the truth. But this is not like that. This is close to the password. Right. This is 3 clues in the news. We give you 3 words.
And if I get this, I win. If I get this, I beat David, right?
Yes.
You do. Yeah, and you beat Vicki too. So check this out.
Wow.
The name of the game is Beat David. We know that.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, let's not
exactly right.
Let's not be coy. It's David or nothing. No offense, Vicki, but
No, I'm with you on that.
That's what you said last night.
All right, go. All right,
that was when I had my Army Hammer kit with me, David.
Just as you were sipping coffee. I love it.
Yes, right.
Tell David that he better come back from that town with no tattoo or no one.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, don't be wandering into the wrong bars, David. Just be a good boy while you're away.
No wanted poster.
So Leslie, seriously, this is for the game. Or it could be, if Leslie gets this wrong, it could also be the game for Vicki if you get to steal. But it's Leslie's question. 3 clues in the news. These words are not connected to each other, but they're all connected to the word you're looking for.
Well, it took me a while to figure that out, but okay, go ahead.
The words are jam, open, needle.
Say it again.
Jam, open, needle.
It sounds like it has to do with COVID somehow, inoculation or vaccination, which I tried before, which didn't work. Jan, open needle. The Olympics.
Is that your final answer?
You realize I pulled that out of where, okay? You realize I pulled that out of you know where, David. I have no
I know. I can see the entrails on the floor.
Oh,
Well, much as I'd love to give you a ring or 3 rings, Leslie Hoban Blake, that is not the correct answer. So we have a steal opportunity here, but who's it going to be for? We get the number 5, which is going directly to David Sheward,
Well,
who is
sorry,
already
Vicki.
winning the game. So, David, you can put it away immediately if you get this. You're smiling, David. Do you want to go for it?
My answer
Uh-huh.
is space.
Safe.
Oh, fuck, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Damn it. I still don't understand how to read those words.
Space Jam,
Space
Open
Jam, of
Space,
course.
the Space Needle in Seattle.
Of course.
It's new.
Listen, yeah, you'll get. It's a new game. That's how it's. It's a new wrinkle to the game, and of course, space was in the news twice because Space Jam was
Right.
remade, and it was Jeff Bezos who went into outer space for
3 minutes.
Right.
I was trying to send that answer to you, Leslie.
Thank
'Cause
you.
I got
thank
it
you.
right away. I was like, Leslie, come on.
I haven't figured it. I figured it out on the last set, but then I lost the way to do it on this set. As you say, it's a new way, and I will try to bring my brain next time.
Well,
I
yeah.
like this new. I like it though. It's
Yeah.
a fun.
We like this new. All right, I'll try it for next week. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's a
how it
good
goes.
game. If I can figure it out, it's a
It's a
good game.
wrinkle.
So,
Yeah.
do we have time, David? Do you have time for the
Yeah.
Tiebreaker?
Yeah,
Let's do the tiebreaker. By the way, congratulations to David Sheward. Yay, go figure. He won.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
shot.
Okay.
No,
I
seriously,
guess.
congratulations, David.
No, seriously,
I'd
Mazel
like to
tov,
thank
David.
all the Amazon employees who paid for this.
Oh wow, yes, I know.
All the packages we
For
sent.
breaking your back and getting carpal tunnel syndrome so that I can go into
Right.
space for 2 minutes.
Right.
But isn't it his company that built the rocket that's going into space? Or was that the other guy? That was
No, that's the phallic one, right?
yeah. Did you see the space?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the greatest thing ever?
Was that?
What are we talking about? Did I miss the?
10 minutes. 10 minutes from start to finish.
You know, Jeff. It was Bezos, right? He went into space in a rocket.
So typical.
Did you? But the physical shape of the rocket is the most
Looks
precise
like-
thing.
Looks like
Very-
either a penis or Jeff Bezos, one or the other.
Oh wow! So anyway, we have our tiebreaker. So you have your pens and papers, please,
Yes.
to scratch down our thing. Here we go. Oh my God, poor David. It's another baseball question. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
The year was 1983. Now, we talked about the Yankees before. Today at Yankee Stadium, Kansas City Royal George Brett hit a home run, but the umpire disallowed it because of a substance on Brett's bat. Name that substance. Have you all written, or is David still writing?
I've written something.
Oh, okay. So I'll read the question again, and then I'll give a 3, 2, 1. 1983 was the year. Speaking of the Yankees, today at Yankee Stadium, Kansas City Royal George Brett hit a home run, but the umpire disallowed it because of a substance on Brett's bat. What was the substance? 3, 2, 1. Let's see him. Okay.
I said tar.
And I can't see yours, Vicki. I see
Tar.
tar. I will allow those two. It was not Vaseline. It was, in fact, pine tar. Was the
I knew there was tar in there.
pine tar was the gooey substance. And what happened was the decision.
What was it supposed to do?
Oh, it gave more grip, so it went up. You're allowed to actually use some of it, but it went too high up on the bat, and they called it. But the decision was reversed. The game was resumed later, and the Royals won. So it's
I
kind
was going to say Ben and Jerry's ice cream, but you know.
yeah, which would be the best one to choke up on? Would be I don't know.
Chunky Monkey.
Chunky.
Gary Garcia.
Are you guys boycotting Ben and Jerry's? or
Fuck
not
yeah.
boycotting?
I am.
Jerry?
And other don't forget it's Unilever, so it's not just they're owned by this conglomerate. They make Lipton tea, they make all these different products that I'm gonna not do, and certainly Rabbi Sol Solomon Well, that's why Leslie's bringing this up. Rabbi Saul's Rabbinical Reflection, which will be on after the Lillias White interview.
Will
It's going to be taking very.
Will he also be boycotting Chick-fil-A?
He always does because he's kosher. What did Chick-fil-A? Did they do anything new, Chick-fil-A, or what?
He gave money to some anti-gay people.
Really?
Yeah, I've been boycotting them. I've never had Chick-fil-A. I've boycotted them for years.
Neither have I. I've never had it.
They've been doing it for decades.
Yeah, I've never had it. I completely boycott them.
I don't even. Yeah, we used to have one in Colorado. I never went. And I prefer lemur filet because they fry them in a crispy.
Right. It's not food that I would want to eat in any case.
I like stoat filet.
Stoat, that's good.
Yeah.
Stoat with a pint of stout. You have a stoat stout dinner. It's good. Yeah.
David, what's the best thing you've had to eat while you've been in Maine?
Oh, lots of stuff. We had a very good. I had a very good seafood pappardella.
Did you have any lobster?
Yes, I've had a lobster. A lobster.
Was it good? I mean, I haven't had lobster in so long. Is it?
I'm starting to talk like this now. The next time you see me, this will be how I'm talking. Well, I don't know the difference between this accent and, the Boston, between Boston and Maine.
It's close. It's very close.
Well, Boston's a little harder,
Yeah.
Is it?
It's more violent.
Yeah. Give me a lobster.
Well, anywho, it's so good to see all of you, and you all look great, and it's all so great that you're here playing the today-yesterday game. We're going to try and get this going again. Vicki, you may be back next week. Are you? I can't say because we always offer the gift.
Just absolutely ask me. If I'm available, I'd love to do it.
God knows what planet she'll be on next time.
Depends on what the news is.
Yeah.
God only knows.
Well, you always shine, but let's give Vicki a chance to remind people if you're in Chicago and you're near the Greenhouse.
Greenhouse Theater. That's right. Get your tickets and go online. You can go online to Thunder Tix. That's the company. And get tickets to in September we reopen Late Night Catechism. September 10th. So.
And then in October you're doing the Halloween.
October we do Holy Ghost Bingo, which is really a hoot and a half. And in December we open Christmas Bingo.
Right.
So.
But the first one is the classic Late Night Catechism starting in September, which is not that many weeks away, folks. Get your ticket, please.
People are buying tickets now.
ThunderTix.com, and it's going to be playing at the Greenhouse. Is that a new building or is it a remade building?
No. It's actually a really venerated theater.
Oh.
It was where the Body Politic started, and Victory Gardens was there. A lot of wonderful shows.
Victory Gardens is the one I know. Yeah.
Right, and now it's the Greenhouse Center.
Well, wonderful.
Now we're there. So.
Wonderful. Best of luck with that, Vicki Quade. Let me remind people that you can watch episodes of Critics Circle with Leslie Hoban Blake and Charlie Gross. I'm assuming it's been a couple of weeks since you've done a new one, but all the old ones are at the YouTube channel Critics Circle, not to mention years of Two on the Aisle at the
years and years and years, darling, years.
So decades of Two on the Aisle. I was on a couple of them. Yeah. They go back
to your days. They go back to Jeff's days. I'm the newbie, and I've been on for a dozen years. So there you go.
Well, go to the YouTube channels Critics Circle and Two on the Aisle to look for Leslie and Charlie Gross for the long-running theater-related program. And of course, David Sheward. And David Sheward, you are writing, of course, your blog, The David Desk, and you're writing for TheaterLife.com and CulturalDaily.com. Right. So what's anything new this week or last? Well, you're on vacation.
Well, I had some time, so I did one blog I finished reading the biography of Mike Nichols by Mark Harris.
Oh.
So I did a review of that with some recollections, my tangential relationships with Mike Nichols, which included I was an usher on Hurly Burly when it was off Broadway, which was quite interesting. And I met Elaine May at a award ceremony once. And I said to her, "Oh, I used to do imitations of you and Mike Nichols at parties." So she said to me, "Do one now." So I did the telephone sketch, or the first few minutes of it. And she was very flattered that I remembered it, and I regretted that I didn't do the mother and son sketch, which is much funnier, I think.
But that's so she was really nice about it. That's
Yeah.
not.
Oh no, she didn't do it like I miss her. I gave a bad reading how she said it. She said, "Oh, do one now." You know, like, "Oh, how funny! You should do one."
Wow.
She's getting an honorary Oscar this year.
Oh, yeah. No, I just find it interesting. You could do nickels on a dime.
But let me ask something, David. So you have time to do that, but not to watch Dave's play?
Yes,
you are on that
So
site,
we
and that
were
is a burn.
we were out to dinner. You know,
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I'll watch it on Facebook. I promise.
Vicki is bucking to become a permanent guest on the show now. She's just saying, "I'll do anything. I'm going to be part of this every week."
Oh, by the way, and also I have a piece on what would happen if Sam Shepard and Tracy Letts wrote an episode of The Flintstones called "Buried Child in Bedrock."
Oh.
And then this is at your blog, right? The David Desk. Is that where that? I've got to read that one. That sounds like everybody's going to read that one. The David Desk. Just Google that because it's not like the David Desk. You don't own DavidDesk.com, right? It's the David Desk, and you have to find it on some blog space.
DavidDesk.com, Blogspot, something like that.
Something like so. Just Google it, and it's easier to find that way. David Sheward, Leslie Hoban Blake. And, of course, Vicki, Quade, thank you for really making this a wonderful, wonderful episode. We'll see you next week for the Today, Yesterday quiz. All right, I can't do it evenly. I've got to remove you one by one. So thank you so much, Vicki. We'll see you soon. And thank you, David Sheward, who has to go and have a wonderful time this weekend.
Thank you.
Other parts of Maine.
Rosemary signed off on the Hollywood Squares.
Perfect. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And Leslie, much good week and health to you. We will see you, God willing, next week. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm not going to die. I mean,
I know. Yeah, but I don't want you on camera next week going, you know.
That she only does that because you make her wake up at 6 a.m.
That's right. That would be her normal thing no matter what. Like 7 a.m. call, Leslie. Like,
right. You got it, babe.
Why do you think
it would be 9 o'clock. I don't care. Even if it's a 7 o'clock call, baby, it would be 9 o'clock.
We'll try to do it as late as possible. We'll see how it goes next week. And please feel good, Leslie.
In the afternoon, right?
Yeah. Catch you in a bit. Oh, delightful people. Wonderful folks.
Excellent.
A joy to have them in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By. And congratulations, I forgot to say again, congratulations to David Sheward. Most important, he won the game. Go figure.
Awesome. Yeah, but like big shocker there.
It was close though. He got 6 points to Vicki's 3 and Leslie's 3 in our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. So much fun on this 808th episode of Dave's Gone By. We're live on this Saturday, July 24th, 2021. We're calling this episode Lillias No Yoga and You. Get it? Remember Lillias? Did you used to watch that? You used to see that on TV?
I don't know what TV is.
That's true. Anywho, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned coming up, and we have Rabbi Sol Solomon complaining in his rabbinical reflection about Ben and Jerry. You're not going to want to miss that. Let's do, are you up for getting Greeley Crimes and Old Times and then we'll hold Lillias towards,
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll get Lillias on after that. So Joyce is getting her noisemakers ready. As we go into our next segment of this episode of the show, and let me get the music ready as well. And my God, I can't believe I don't want to give what my family would call a kanina hura, but the hotspot has just been a miracle. Thank you for that working. But yeah, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. It has to do with stories that come in to the local newspaper of Greeley, Colorado. It's called the Greeley Tribune. And basically, these are phone calls that come into the police department in Weld County from people who see something weird happening in the neighborhood, and they want to tell the cops, hey, bring cops over. We have this problem. And a lot of times the problems are, not as big as the caller thinks they are. So those are kind of funny, and they're put in the paper once a week, along with another column called 100 Years Ago. Our friend of the Daverhood, Mike Peters, goes through the Tribune from 1921 and picks out the most nostalgic, ridiculous items that were in the paper back then. We mix them up and we call it Greeley Crimes at all times. Joyce is walking over here. What do you need, babe?
My brain. Okay.
Oh, because the
I got it. No, I got
things are over here.
I got what I need.
Excellent. She has what she needs. We have what we need, including the theme music, courtesy of Tom Waits. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Fiddly need we. Ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times Live on this Saturday, July 24th, 2021. So let us begin. I've got to get it up on this, on my actual computer here to do this. And here we are. Let us begin with some criminality on this Saturday. So, Joyce is finding us on Facebook. That looks like from last week, yeah.
I've had you and I lost you.
Joyce is getting. While she's doing that, I do want to remind you that, again, if you tuned in early in the show for Lillias White, and you can't stay to see her because she's coming on a bit later in the show, remember that we save all our episodes. We archive them at davesgoneby.com. So give it like 24 hours, and this episode will be available. And also, if you're on Long Island and you normally watch the show, you couldn't have been watching because there was no cable for the first hour and a half. So you can see it. It's on davesgoneby.com. We'll even have a separate archive of just the interviews. So if you just want to see the Lillias White, you'll find that on davesgoneby.com as well. Plus, we archive all our programs and our interviews at the nonprofit website archive.org. archive.org. We have no connection to them except we think they're wonderful. It's a nonprofit organization that's just been gathering arts and culture and everything for the past thousands of years. Everything public domain or people volunteer to give. Archive.org. Plus, if you're a podcasty kind of person, you can go to castbox.fm and hear the audio of the program only. So if you're on the go, you don't want to watch the show and see my face for 3 hours and so. And fine, just listen to the show, castbox.fm. And finally, we have our YouTube channel, Dave's Gone By, where 90-something% of our archives are. The rest are muted or had to be taken down because of copyright issues, whatever. We're mostly on YouTube.
Hold on.
And also, whatever. And finally, when cable is working, which it seems to be, our archives, we do 1 hour excerpts of the show at random. And we put them on Monday mornings, 1 a.m., so really early Monday morning, and Tuesday mornings, 4 a.m., worst time slots imaginable, but that's what we got, on Altice Channel 20 cable in Nassau County. So if you happen to be flipping dials and you're not watching all your TV on computer, and you see us, it's Channel 20, Monday at 1 in the morning, Tuesday at 4 in the morning, Channel 20, for episodes of Dave's, or I should say 1 hour excerpts of Dave's Gone By. We call that show the Daverhood. So, are you ready, dear? Are you ready for some Greeley criminality and old timality?
Yeah, of course. Let me get in here.
Oh wait, I think we have a caller. I'm not sure, but we might have a caller. Oh. Hello, caller. A caller near 16th Street reported a man had pulled a shotgun on them from about 100 feet away, claiming he was a security guard. Because all security guards carry double-barreled shotguns.
What was he protecting?
Yeah, right. Unbelievable. Oh, honey.
Look how good you look, Bob.
Oh, I'm looking good. Yeah, I'm looking good. Nice slagging, too. We have An awe.
Because that's your private network. Okay.
We have an
I don't
awe
think we
alert.
have an awe.
I think this is just you going
Maybe this.
awe. No. Babies can be cute, but not when they're crying. That's good. All right. But I need you to give me, like, your very, very best awe. Aw. A caller on 4th Street. Remember, they're calling the police department about this. A caller on 4th Street reported a 3-month-old puppy with a bowl stuck around. What?
How do you know it's a 3-month-old puppy? Like, how can you assess age?
It would be it would be the size of your hand.
Yeah, but how do you know it's 3 months old?
All right, well, maybe it's their puppy. With a bowl stuck around his head. So, who do you call in those instances?
I think you call you call a vet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You call the vet.
What do they do? Like when a bear gets a bucket on its head, what do they do?
Wildlife people.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just crack it open with a hammer.
No, they sedate the bear, they shoot him in the tushy with the sedative, and then they bring him into like some rescue thing, and then they probably, cut it off carefully.
Or they probably don't have to bring him in. They could probably just lay him down.
They put him on the floor and they put a lot of olive oil on his head or butter, and they slide the helmet, the thing off that.
How would you like to be the guy whose job it is to pour olive oil on your hands and massage a bear's head?
The bear.
Yeah.
Come on, Fred, it's time to come out and lube the bear.
God, literally on their resumes, I'm bear luber. Oh man.
Oh jeez.
Oh, the restaurant's calling again. Oh, here they are. Yeah. A caller at a restaurant said she refused to serve a drunken man who returned and then cussed out customers. The caller. Oh, you've got the voice, the thing for this one. The caller said the man vomited on himself.
Oh God! Oh my God!
And still refused to leave.
That's horrible. What restaurant?
I'm waiting for the buffet.
What restaurant was this?
It doesn't say what. It was a caller. I didn't take the address of the restaurant. It didn't say the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, but we could figure it out from the address. That's fine.
So he was so drunk, he went out, he came back, vomited on himself, but still refused to leave.
That's good time. I hope it wasn't like Golden Corral.
I want my fortune cookie.
No, I think it was probably like Golden Corral.
They say you get free seconds. Oh, please. Oh, a woman on 3rd Street said she ended things with a man, but he showed up at her house, took the flagpole from her driveway, and threw it down her window well. And if you've ever been flagpoled, you know how painful that can be.
Maybe she didn't have the same belief system she had.
Wow.
That's...
Yeah, it's a grand old flag. It's a high stabbing flag.
Where
that's
was
mad.
that? Do you know the location of that?
Well, I told you the one thing that I did, just out of sheer anger. And I do a lot of things out of sheer anger. So when I had that awful job as a census taker, this is not the most recent census, but this is years ago, and I didn't have a car, so I did this by bicycle. I had to go to people's houses outdoors and to apartment buildings and lobbies and stuff, and basically take their information. How many people live in this residence? Who's there? And of course, some people were perfectly nice and perfectly kind, and some people were very pleasant about not wanting to give any personal information or answer, and some people were assholes. And I just remember this woman was like, I'm knocking on the front door. She usually opened the door a little bit, and it's just like mean in a way. Now, go away. Don't want to talk to you. Don't want to. And she had these signs in her lawn. I don't know if it was a house for sale or if it was just like the siding was being redone, or it was a sign for the painters of the thing. But it was one of these little signs on the lawn that had those 2 posts where you stick it in the lawn and you see it, and I just kicked that thing right over. It's like, the hell with you. But I did not take her flagpole and stuff it in
What's
any...
that song? My flagpole and
your flagpole sitting by the fire. Let's do some old times. Let's go 100 years ago in Greeley and thereabouts, Colorado, from the newspapers back then. The Colorado Highway Department announced today that they will be putting road signs on the highways in this area. It will mean that drivers will know what roads they're on, and they might not get as lost as easily. Can you imagine putting up roads and like not having any signage for
Colorado has no lights. Like, remember we would drive in the country and there's no lights. So at least having a sign when there's no lights, like have one or the other.
And think about that in 1921, how headlights must have worked in cars back then. They must have been
so dim.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the name of the week. Here comes the name of the week from 100 years ago. A.L. Mumper. Isn't that a lovely name? A.L. Mumper was fined $5 this week in city court for passing a standing streetcar in his auto. He protested, but the judge fined him anyway. Poor Mr. Mumper. And by the way, speaking of animals, the largest pig in United States history has now been stuffed and mounted for display.
Ew.
At the West Virginia Museum, the stuffed pig is 4 feet tall, 7 feet long, and before stuffing, it weighed more than 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Well, I do like to ham it up on this program. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Get it? Yeah? No?
That's not the one I wanted.
Oh, wait. I will say this. The more you hear about pork, the more you loin. Okay. We're doing Dave's Gone By here. It's the Greeley Crimes and Old Times segment. With me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. Thank you to all of you who are watching. I hope you're enjoying it. It's our 808th episode of the show called Lillias No Yoga. And you, because in just a few minutes, Lillias White will be guesting in the Daverhood. Plus, we have Rabbi Saul coming on again. He will be interviewing Lillias White. He will also have his rabbinical reflection about Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And, well, I think that takes us through and our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Hoehne, Colorado. But right now, we're still doing a few more Greeley crimes and old times. Let's go elsewhere. Let's get a story that isn't from Colorado at all. It's merely strange. Dateline, Brooklyn, New York. And this is so apt. This is so appropriate because Rabbi Saul's going to be talking about Ben & Jerry's. Here's a story about ice cream. It's comfort food in a cone. A limited edition ice cream hit freezers nationwide this week. It's made by Brooklyn-based ice cream maker Van Leeuwen, a subsidiary of Kraft Heinz. But no, it's not ketchup flavored. What flavor do you think it is, babe? Want to take a...
Mustard?
No. Wow, that would be intense.
Mayonnaise? Butter flavored.
Not butter flavored ice cream, which I think they actually make. Somebody makes, not Van Leeuwen. One more shot?
Sour cream.
These are all good answers, but no. New flavor of ice cream, temporarily anyway. Macaroni and cheese.
Oh God.
The company, Kraft Heinz, described the ice cream as, quote, a cool, creamy scoop of ice cream that brings the comforting, nostalgic feeling from a warm bowl of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Not only does it taste delicious, says Van Leeuwen, but it's also made with high-quality ingredients and has no artificial flavors or preservatives, just like our mac and cheese. I guess if you freeze anything, it'll taste... Would you try that even?
No.
No?
I don't like macaroni and cheese to begin with.
Really?
No.
Mac and cheese is good. Oh, wow.
I'd rather have
Well, you still love cheese.
spaghetti and a little bit of Parmesan. That's about as deep as I'll go.
But isn't that sort of mac and cheese?
No. I mean, it's...
No? No.
No.
What will they think of? Because I'm sure they've done steak. I'm sure they've done any possible, Clams Casino ice cream. Would probably be
Ew.
What? Well, being a special shell. I don't even know. Anywho, let's also do Oh, let's do this one. We have another. This is a special day, ladies and gentlemen. We have another elsewhere item on Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Dateline, New Hampshire. New Hampshire. A pricey New Hampshire overnight camp was abruptly canceled after it descended into a fire festival-like debacle. That included fistfights, unsanitary meals, and mass vomiting. Camp Quinabarge directors told parents who paid $3,400 for a 2-week stay to pick up their kids after only 6 days. The Boston Globe reported this summer's early closure of the 85-year-old camp in Moulton Borough, New Hampshire. Problems were initially blamed on food supply troubles, but parents later learned the camp was reeling from many issues, including understaffing, undertrained counselors who were quitting and getting fired en masse. Other problems included a camper who attacked both staff and fellow children, dirty dishes provided at mealtime.
That sounds normal.
Yeah, well, yeah, and reports of multiple children vomiting and being quarantined.
You remember when I was a camp counselor, we had a girl who was asthmatic,
have
an asthma attack. We had someone who's lactose intolerant, drink milk.
Yeah.
We had all the boys broke a bridge. All the camp counselors ran over the bridge with the boys, and they broke a bridge. And then the one camp counselor, we think he got bit by a venomous spider, but we were never sure.
But that's normal. I mean, real camp. It's camp. Stuff's gonna happen. But this was just a massive thing. One child's letter home. Rather intelligent children here.
Please say, save me.
New Hampshire kids here. The letter home read, quote, "We have been in tears, bored, and devastated the whole day." Devastated. These are like 9-year-old kids. The camp director is lying to you all. So many things are wrong in this place.
Oh, it's like Crip Camp. Remember that movie, Crip Camp?
No, I don't, but I can. I think the name kind of gives it. As opposed to Death Camp, which is a whole different thing. One 8-year-old told the newspaper he was hit in the head with a wooden block.
Oh my God!
By another camper, although that can happen anywhere. And this is the best thing. A broken dishwasher in the kitchen meant dirty dishes were given to the kids at mealtime, and the cook was fired for serving one kid a half-raw meatball.
Oh, can I tell you? So what happened was, so of course I'm with the girls, 8-year-old girls. We're sitting at our table, and they called the chef out. The chef comes out, I'm not kidding you, this is like a log cabin, so it's like a log cabin dining hall. Comes out with a machete that's the size of huge, and he starts running around the dining hall making a joke, he's a camp killer, to which everyone screamed and ran out of the building.
Yes!
I was like, oh, God.
Wow.
That's no bueno, no bueno.
Hello, Maga. Hello, Maga.
And after that, people were afraid of the chef, and I'm like, because you scared the children to death.
Oh.
You can't bring a machete around 8-year-old girls. That's not good.
Yeah, was he disciplined at all?
No, it was a joke.
I know it was a joke. I know.
The kids were just horrified. Nobody wanted to eat in the mess,
Oh,
man. It was rough, yeah.
What I love about all that, I've told you all this stuff about the dirty dishes, about the staff, the meatball, the thing. 4 children were quarantined after their unexplained bouts of vomiting.
Oh,
Unexplained?
No,
I think they've explained it.
It's food poisoning, yeah.
Oh, man. And they were just saying the real issue was, like so many people are saying, nobody wants to take these jobs. They were literally desperately emailing parents 2 weeks before camp started. It's like, anybody who wants a job working in a camp.
Yeah, I told you. I was in a cabin where the head counselor used to smoke pot.
Oh.
The under counselor was absent. She was never in her bunk. It was me and an exchange student from Germany.
Hmm.
And imagine she's trying to communicate and the kids don't know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, they had a guy, I don't know where he was from. It was like bedlam. And then the washing machine broke. It's bad.
Oh, stuff happens, yeah. But
it's bad.
Wow. Camp Quinabarge. And they're saying, the amazing thing is that, yes, they closed camp early, 6 days into a 2-week sojourn at Camp Quinabarge. But as I remember from the article, they're saying, we're closing it early and we're getting started right now on 2022. If you were a parent, Would you be sending your kid to Camp Quinnabarge in
Let me
2000?
tell you something, though. I hate to say this.
Yeah.
If I were a parent, I would send my kid.
Anywhere.
I would be like, here's the Imodium, right? Like when we went to Italy, right? The first day, the girl, they blew the socket. Someone needed Imodium. What else did they come to us for? Like I had, because I was like a nerd, they gave us a list of like these things to buy. So I bought like Pepto-Bismol, Imodium. I had everything. So we had every event happen. We just had enough pharmaceuticals.
Well, Grant A, also, this was with college kids. And B, we were in central Rome. Yeah, so if we actually needed anything, 3 blocks away was a supermarket.
Remember one night we had to go, why did we go? The girl with the eye stuff. We had to go get a prescription filled, so we had to go to an all-night, like, pharmacy. Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't, like, the middle of the woods, either. It was like, we're in complete civilization, if you can call Italian civilized. But, we're doing Greeley Crimes and Old Times here on Dave's Gone By. Let's do 1 or 2 more criminal things, and then we'll move on to our interview, Rabbi Saul Solomon's interview, with Lillias White in just a couple of minutes. So, some more crimes. A caller on 8th Avenue. Oh, I can tell by the ring it's 8th Avenue. Hello. The caller called to say... That is the right sound. The caller called to say that federal agents are turning into beasts and eating humans.
Oh, yes.
Caller said a missing person was eaten by an agent.
I've heard that.
Meth much?
I've heard that, actually.
Yeah.
I've heard that,
yeah. Yeah, me too. I have heard. And now it's in the paper, so it must be true.
That's nothing new.
Remember, these are all actual phone calls that come into the police department in Colorado.
Freaking scary.
A caller near 9th Avenue reported a homeless woman...
Wait a second. Sorry.
Oh, hello. A homeless woman with a tattoo on her right breast undressing near a church. Let's unpack that, shall we? It's like not just undressing in public, but near a church.
This is what's interesting. Like, if I was so horrified by something, I would not know left and right, and like she had a lot of detail.
Yeah.
That caller gave a lot of detail.
Maybe she was in the church, you know.
Oh, that's not good.
Could have been a boring sermon. You look out the window and think, oh,
that's no bueno.
Hello.
That's no bueno.
That's Mary Magdalene right there. Let's do 1 more. A man on 25th Street called to say...
Wait 1 second.
Oh, hi, is this man on 25th Street? Hey, how you doing? Called to say he had a warrant that he would take care of the next day.
Oh, good.
But he wanted to know if he could take his girlfriend on a date in the meantime.
Listen, if he has a warrant, he might as well get some conjugal visits in.
I know, right? He might be going away for 25 years on serial murder.
He might need to do that ASAP.
Yeah, his guy, you know, please, can I come tomorrow? Come to first thing tomorrow. Well, maybe not first thing, because I'm hoping I have a nice long night, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my God, that's like TMI. Doesn't he have a probation officer?
Well, he hasn't, a warrant, I guess. I don't know. How do you know you have a warrant coming for you?
I think you know if you have an arrest warrant. Usually, so I had a student who had one years ago, and usually the detectives call the person and say you need to report, right? Like,
is that how they? Yeah.
I believe they let
and if you
know.
don't show up, then they come to your house.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that I don't think it's a secret that you. I don't think it's a secret that the cops want you. I think you know that the cops want you.
Right.
You know.
Or you've pulled the tag off your pillow, and they instantly know that.
Chillo. I believe it's your chillo.
Because you outlasted your warranty.
Oh, Mr. Peabody.
That's Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Oh, hold on. Oh, I always mute it and then I forget to unmute. That's Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Thank you, Groucho. Thank you, all the people surrounding Groucho, for that lovely applause. So here we are. It is 11:15 Eastern Time in the Daverhood, and you're watching the Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. Now, what I have to do next is share my screen with ya. So I gotta open this thing up. Hold on, let's see if this works. Because we want to be able to make sure that you can watch and listen. Wait, that's not it. What is that? That's, hey. That shouldn't be 6 minutes long. One moment. One moment. That's going to be it. Okay. Rabbi Sal Solomon has the honor of talking to a Tony-winning Broadway star, an incredible songstress. As a matter of fact, her first album is going to be coming out immediately. I think either last week or next week. It's called Get Yourself Some Happy is the album. She's also going to be at the Green Room 42 in August 12th through the 14th. She's played there many times. She's played all over the country, and she's been in a dozen shows on Broadway. We're talking about a major performer, and we're very excited to have her. Not so excited to have Rabbi Sal Solomon, to be honest. He's been with us since our very first episode of the show. He's the founder, spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And Rabbi Sal will, in fact, be with us even later in the program to do his rabbinical reflection about Ben and Jerry's ice cream. But for now, please sit back and enjoy. I know you've been waiting for this. I'm hoping our internet holds out okay. It's Rabbi Sal Solomon. And, oh, wait, hold on. I have to share. Got to share the screen. I got to remember how to do that. Hold on. I might need a little bit of...
Do you need help? I'm sorry.
I've forgotten how to share screen.
No, go right there to the green button. I'm sorry.
Oh, there. How did I... It looks so different in the office. It's such a different one. So desktop 1.
No, that's not the one you're sharing.
No, it's not.
No. Is it? Yeah, okay. Let's try it. I'll tell you what I see.
Tell me what you see. Da 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 da.
Because you have the video open, so...
I was there when the tree house. Yeah, I think you're seeing what you need to see. So
make the screen a bit bigger.
I'll make it. Yeah, I'm going to make it bigger. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado or a don't, Rabbi Sal Solomon.
I'll make it full screen.
I'm about to. Ladies and gentlemen, Lillias White and Rabbi Sal Solomon.
Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And oh, am I delighted. Oh, is it a joy to hear the voice and the singing of this next person that we will be talking to in the Daverhood. She is a Tony winner. Let me just give you some of her credits. Since making her Broadway debut in Barnum and her off-Broadway debut in the William Finn musical Romance and Hard Times, listen to these credits. She played Effie in Dreamgirls, Grisabella in Cats, Mama Morton in Chicago, Miss Jones in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. She's a Tony nominee for the musical Fela and a Tony winner for the life. Because if you know that song, I'm getting too old for the old district, that's her. She sang that. She originated that in the Cy Coleman musical. So she was the very first performer in the Green Room 42 cabaret space, and she's going to be back there in just a couple of weeks. And she has a new solo album called Get Yourself Some Happy. We are so happy to have with us Lillias White. Shalom, Lillias. Hello.
Hello. Shalom. Peace and love, everybody. Hi.
Peace and love to you, too. How are you? Looking fantastic. How are you doing post-pandemic? How you feeling?
Well, the pandemic is not really over, but I'm doing fine. And I'm healthy, and I'm strong, and I'm excited about all the good things that are happening with this album. It's been a long time coming, and finally, it's here in a few days, actually. It's when it officially drops.
Right.
So it's all good. I'm good.
so and freezing. I know you're blessed. I know we're good. You're frozen at the moment. This is why I'm waiting. And no, you're back. Welcome back. Shalom. So, the internet during the. Let me ask. So, this album is based on someone that you worked with for like 30 years. Unfortunately, they passed away fairly recently. But why don't you explain even more? Yes, it's an album all about happy songs, but it has to do with a musical director that you were with for a very long time. So tell us a bit more.
Yes. My musical director, brother from another mother, partner in crime, his name is Timothy Graffenreid. And Timothy wrote the original dance music for The Wiz that was on Broadway. Timothy and I created many cabaret shows together, and we were very, very happy and successful doing that. And Joshua Sherman and I have been friends for over 20 years as well. So Joshua and I have been talking about doing a solo album for years. And so finally he's got a beautiful new recording studio up in East Arlington, Vermont. It's called the Old Mill Road Studio. It's absolutely gorgeous. When you stand in the booth, there's the water, the river is flowing. It's just really gorgeous and a beautiful space and wonderful state-of-the-art equipment, along with the great Grammy Award-winning engineer, Ben Arundel. So Timothy made a list, I made a list, and Josh made a list of songs that we would like to have recorded. And we put the list together. Timothy worked on it. He did the arrangements along with Josh, and I put my 2 cents in wherever I could. And so we put this album together, and it's called Get Yourself Some Happy. And this was before the pandemic, before there was any inkling of the pandemic. So this was just a bunch of songs that we wanted to give to the people. So that's where the idea came from, and that's what we did.
Sounds delightful. So among the songs on there, you actually do, I think, Come On, Hallelujah, Come On, Get Happy. And what are some of these songs on this record? You Make Me So Very, Very Happy is one of them. You Make Me So Very Happy. We have Happy Together.
Oh, the turtle song, yeah.
Yes. We have You're My Best Friend. We have Brand New Me. And what do we have? Come on, get happy, put on a happy face. So if you go to the website, if you go to lilliaswhite.com, yeah, you can pre-order it, and then you'll find out how many wonderful songs are on the CD.
LilliasWhite.com. There's all these L's in there. You got to be careful. LILLIAS White.com is the place that you can get it on CD. You can also order digitally, and you say, like, for the holidays, you'll even put out a vinyl thingy. Is this true?
Yes, we're working on that.
Oh, my record albums everything comes back after a while.
I'm happy for it. I love playing records.
Now, speaking of things coming back, during the pandemic, did you do a lot of Zoom theater? Did you do shows in places that weren't so distanced and masked and closed? How did you spend a year and a half?
I did a lot of work. I did some Zoom performances. I did a very well directed show with a no audience. Something out in Long Island. I did something downtown. I did a lot of work. And I've been working on a Sarah Vaughan project as well. So that's in the works, and I've been working on that since out of lockdown.
I think I read that you're doing, while you were working on this other album, you're already in the stages of doing a Sarah Vaughan, what was it, Miss Diva or Miss something? What is it called? Divine Path.
This we did in 2019. So that was this album was already in the can. The project I was working on during the pandemic has been the Sarah Vaughan project.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay, so and that's called, it was Divine Sass
Or at least that's the working title so far in terms of the CD.
Right. That's it.
And you've been asked before the difference between playing, quote, characters or people who are real people, like Sarah Vaughan, versus just being, Lillias White. How do you make that differentiation? Do you stop being Lillias when you're being Sarah?
Well, it's about 50-50. Anytime you're playing a role, it's always some of you in there to make the engine go. But I like to do research on people. I got to play Dinah Washington, and I did some research on her, and I kind of wanted to just vibe her out and see what kind of person she was during the era that she lived. She went through a lot of changes in terms of being a Black woman in the music industry and taking charge of her own affairs. So I put myself in her shoes, so to speak, and so the people who knew her came and saw the show, and they said, "Wow, that was her." So I work to do that, but you always have some of yourself in that character, in that person, if it's a real person or if it's a character that's been created for you or created. There's always some of you in there. That's what makes it go.
Now, speaking of being a Black woman in the industry, in performing, in show business, I personally am a Black woman in show business. I know I don't look it, but have you found it different, better, the same over, say, the past 2 years, when everybody's been so-called, more conscious and more woke and trying to change things, than it's been in your first 40, 50, so on years you doing the business?
I think there's room for improvement, and I think that because of the events of the past year, that people are making an effort to make some changes that will encourage more equity and more inclusion and different points of view. So I think that things are changing, but we have work to do as a union, as a nation. We have work to do.
Can I ask, did you ever experience any direct discrimination? Like where you could, not just the subtle underpinning of, well, they're not going to hire me anyway because, but like anything that where you were really mistreated and you knew it was because of who you are?
Oh, you have. Starting in junior high school.
For example?
I had a teacher named Jacobson who I helped me with the audition because I'd never auditioned for anything before. And she told me point blank, that school was not for me. So, yes, I've had those instances. I've had instances of castmates on Broadway say derogatory things.
Oh my God. But not derogatory like trying to help you or saying, oh, you hit a flat note. But
no, not that kind of thing. Something that's directly related to my race.
Oh my God. Do you want to call them out now and say so-and-so said something, or no?
I've already called her out. I don't have to do that.
Oh my God! Right.
Yeah, I've done that publicly already, so I don't need to go and do that again. But there are people who come from certain backgrounds, and they are taught. You have to be taught to hate people.
Carefully taught, as the saying goes.
Carefully taught, and that's a real thing. So there are people who are taught that if someone is different from them in any way, that they are not acceptable. So, those kind of people, I have to just ignore them. Or, if they really get on my nerve, they get cussed out. And then I leave them alone. But I think that this next generation is seeing to it that things are going to be different. I think that they're more open to change. I think they're more open to people who are different, to transgender people, to Black people, to Asian people. So, this generation, even if they're taught, not to be accepting, I think that the events of the past year have opened a lot of eyes, particularly for young people, and that they're looking at the world and they're seeing that Black people have not been telling lies all this time when we say we are discriminated against or we're singled out and we're killed more frequently. It's a real thing, and now the whole world knows it.
Now, speaking of young people, on a much more happy kind of a note, when you were a young people yourself, your grandma and your aunt were both tremendously encouraging in terms of getting you up there and having you strut your stuff, as it were. So tell some stories about this. When you're unfrozen. Uh-oh. We've lost you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back.
Oh, boy,
Hello,
I'm right here.
Did you get the question? Good. The question was about your grandma and
Yes. Yes, my grandmother used to have big dinners every Sunday. It was mandatory attendance. And my grandfather used to have to do the dishes. That was his job. So he'd clear the table, and my grandmother would put me up on the dining room table, and I'd sing and dance for my family. And my Aunt Lillias was a dancer with the June Taylor Dance Company that was on the Jackie Gleason show. So my Aunt Lillias saw, and my aunts and uncles and my grandmother, they saw this gift. And so they would encourage me. My aunt would dress me up in crinoline dresses and the little socks with the lace around them and the patent leather shoes. And I would do my thing. And, I would do Shirley Temple, only better. And, my aunts and uncles were young adults at the time, so I heard a lot of music growing up. There was always music going on. I had an uncle who painted. He did murals, and he did portraits. And I had an aunt who did wood cuttings, and I had cousins who played the piano, and my aunt played piano a little bit. So there was always music around. My mother would take us to Radio City Music Hall twice a year, every year, to see the Christmas show and the Easter show. And my mother would buy me show tune albums, and so I memorized all the show tune albums, every word, every part, and she'd give me money for 45s when I got to be a teenager. So I had stacks of 45s, and I'd sing in my living room with my hairbrush or my spoon in the mirror. I had another aunt who made wigs, and so I had all these wigs, and I'd be on stage in my living room. So that's how I started, and my family has always encouraged me and pushed me and said, atta girl, go do it. So I've been blessed that way.
And this has actually been a tremendous controversy. Which of these is better to sing into? Sorry, we have a frozen situation, but there's been discourses and controversies about this, and blood has been shed. But which is better to sing into? A spoon or a brush? That joke is just
okay, I didn't hear what you said.
The joke, I was gonna say which is better, the spoon or the hairbrush? But I completely got lost in the comedy right there. I'll go. Did you hear the spoon or hairbrush? All right. Anywho, moving forward. So. When you were interviewed a few years ago, you mentioned that among the roles, you played so many roles, but among those you haven't yet played were Mame, Mama Rose, and there was another one too, Miss Hannigan and Annie. Have you had a chance to do either of those three since then?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Are there any added to that list?
Well, what I would like to add to that list is I would like to explore brand new roles that are created for me specifically. And that's to me the ultimate gift, is to have a playwright and a composer write something that's funny and brilliant and poignant and moving, and say, this is who I want to play this role, Lillias White in this role, singing these songs and doing this. So that's my ultimate, but that's what I love the best. And that's what I love about working with Cy Coleman, was that he called me and said, we have a role for you. We're making a role for you in this show. And that's what he did.
And that was the life. That was
the life. Well, yeah.
Do you have any Cy Coleman stories? Any anecdotes? Any fun things about him?
Oh, Cy was a great entertainer. He was funny. He was charming. He loved the ladies. He loved good food and good wine. And he liked having people around him who were cheerful and energetic. He was my buddy. He was my friend. And my family loved him. I don't know what to say. He was a great guy to me. Everybody has their own opinion about, whoever they know or whoever they've met or worked with. But I've been really lucky for me.
Now, speaking of... Sorry, we're catching up here. But speaking of roles that are kind of written, though, with you in mind, is anything happening with Gotta Dance? This was a musical that was being geared for Broadway a couple of years ago. You've done workshops. You did... Is anything happening with Gotta Dance?
Right now, it's being worked out. Right now, I think it's percolating.
Okay. Is anything else percolating that you can talk about that you're involved in?
Yeah, but I can't talk about it because it's not signed yet. But yes, there are good things on the horizon.
Good things,
and especially this album.
Well, yes, this album, which we want to remind people is called Get Yourself Some Happy. And it's just released on Old Mill Road Records. Available, by the way, you can find out more about it at lilliaswhite.com. You're also going to want to go see her at the Green Room 42. She was the first person to play there. She was also the first person to play there after the pandemic was over. And now she's coming back August 12th through the 14th. But we have a few more minutes with you, I hope, Liz, especially since we lost some with this stupid internet that we have here. So a couple more questions with the delightful Lillias White. Let me ask you, you were fairly open in your dislike of our previous president and his administration and the way America was at that time. We're now 6 months in or so, 7, into a new... Do you feel things are different? Do you feel that they're better in some ways?
I think that the previous administration really ripped the scabs off of the wounds of this country, and the president that we have now is trying hard to heal us. Things are more blatant than they have been in a long time. And I think that the people who we know are trying to destroy the country out in the open so that we can make an educated and conscious decision about how we're going to live in this country. We're going to either live together, or it's going to be a lot of turmoil and problems. So what's happening to the planet, and the war on poverty needs to be stepped up. It doesn't make sense for people not to have enough food to eat and no place to live. It doesn't make sense to me in a country this vast and this rich. So I think that President Biden is definitely headed in the right direction in trying to heal us and make the roads safer and build the bridges up and get the guns off the streets. But he's got a hell of a job to do.
Now, speaking of doing a job, when you do a job on a song, you have called that Lilliasizing it. So, can you explain in your own words, I don't know if you can even explain it, but what is it to Lilliasize a song?
Well, it's to just give it my own interpretation, is basically what it is. And Timothy Graffenreid and I were really famous for doing this. We would take a song like Janis Ian's At 17, and we did a rendition of it that nobody's heard before or since. It involved background singers, and it involved, sectioning the song out and making it more, because I like words. I like songs that have great lyrics. So a song like At 17 has great lyrics, and it makes you think about a time when you were 17 and what was going on. And so, yes, I Lilliasize songs by making them my own. I interpret them the way I feel them, the way the lyrics move me, and the rhythm and the music move me. So that's Lilliasizing. And it may take a fast song and make it slow, or we may take a slow song and make it fast. And we'd be Lilliasizing.
Now, speaking of being moved by music, you told a story of like your favorite fan moment, where fans approached you when they're coming out of a musical that you were in. And the woman was sobbing and crying, but it's not a show you would expect that someone would be coming out weeping. Can you tell the story there?
That was when I was doing How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And the number that I had at the 11 o'clock part of the show was Brotherhood of Man. And it's a wreck. So this lady was standing at the stage door that evening when I came out, and she was weeping. And so, I kind of looked around and I said, "Are you okay?" Because we are in Times Square, and, and lots of things could happen. But she said that she was at the show, and she was crying because of what it made her feel like, as she was witnessing this number, this Brotherhood of Man, and the scatting and the dancing and the jumping around. And so it moved her. And, my Aunt Lillias used to come and see me all the time, and she would cry. No matter what the show was, she would cry. And I'd say, "Oh, no, why are you crying?" She said, "Oh, baby, you sound so beautiful. And I just remember when you were that baby girl on the table, and look at you now, and, and so there's something, I think, yes, in my voice, in the way that I sound, that moves people that way, and it makes them full. You get full of spirit, full of feeling, and that's my gig. That's my job. So
absolutely. Okay. Yeah, believe me, people tell me I'm full of something else. You don't want to know. But one more question for you, Lillias White, is there a song or a performance that does the same for you? Like something that you put on the record or whatever, or you think back to seeing in the theater, and you get all hey like that?
Yes. When I went to see Lena Horne, the lady in her music, she was absolutely stunning. And when she sang, "If You Believe," look, I'm getting full just thinking about that she sang that song that went through me, and it spoke to me. And I felt as if she was singing directly to me and talking directly to my heart, and that she knew everything that was going on in my life at that time, and that she was saying, "Believe in yourself," right from the start. Believe in the magic that's inside your heart. Oh.
Well, you will. People are saying that how you feel about Lena Horne is how a lot of people feel about Lillias White when you sing, and when they will hear you urging them to get happy and to be happy by listening to your brand new album, Get Yourself Some Happy, by seeing you at Green Room 42, August 12th through the 14th in New York City, and then just discovering all that you have to offer by going to
13th, 14th, 15th.
It's for the 15th. They added a date, so check, just make sure. But either way, you'll have to see her several times.
Go to the Green Room 42. Get your tickets now.
Yes, right now. Go see her.
You can come see me and get yourself some happy.
I couldn't be happier talking to the delightful Lillias White. Thank you so much for being with us in the Daverhood, and shalom and much success to you.
Shalom, and thank you so much, Rabbi. Thank you for your blessing.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rabbi Sal Solomon, the one, the only, the Jewish. Very, very happy. So apologies for whatever technical difficulties that they had doing that interview here on Dave's Gone By, but I think a lot came through anyway. I mean, if you pushed past the frozen moments, you actually got some pretty great stuff out of both of them.
I'm looking forward to that album. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, well, it's out. It's out momentarily.
I wonder if she's written a book about her experiences. Like when she said said it or talked about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's writing a book or has written a book.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because she didn't really go there, but she went through, she moved, she got a divorce years ago, and then she came back. She's been in all these Broadway shows.
I wonder. She must be writing a book, I hope.
Well, yeah. But you know what? A person's life is also in the music and the music that they chose. So she is in a happy place, or at least her front face is in a, we're all in a happy place. I'm in a happy place 9 to noon on Saturday mornings and, miserable the rest of the time. But this is my happy place. So is she. Get her album. Get yourself some happy, and also be happy if you're in New York and go see her.
Who said you can't buy happiness?
Well, you can buy her album of happiness. You certainly can. You can either download it, get it on CD, or it will be vinyl in around the holidays. But you'll get yourself a copy now, and then
Her link is in the chat.
You can go to her link. It is in the chat room on our Facebook chat.
It's just LilliasWhite.com.
Lillias, well, her website, LILLIAS White.com.
All one word, no spacing.
LilliasWhite.com. I'm David Lefkowitz of DaveLefkowitz.org, and actually DaveLefkowitz.com as well. I have them both. If you go to those, you can read my stuff, because you hear me, but I'm also a writer, of course. So if you go to DaveLefkowitz.org and you want to read that play that we're talking about, Restoration Playhouse,
I can't link to it. Can I link to it?
I guess you can link to DaveLefkowitz.org. You can also read all the reviews, the theater, because you can read all the theater reviews that I have written for 30-something years. We're putting up more and more and more of them. There's dozens, if not hundreds there, as a matter of fact. Plus, other one-act plays I've written, a couple of full-length plays, tons of song lyrics to songs that I've done. It's just become this repository of 35, 40 years of work, of what I do. And this is kind of my legacy. It's these shows, the stuff I do on, off and off Broadway when I do it, and my writing. So the link is now in the chat for DaveLefkowitz.org. Please check that out if you have some time. If you want to see the other sides of me, although even most of my plays tend to be funny, they're a little on the darker side, DaveLefkowitz.org. But it is about 12 minutes to noon Eastern Time in the Daverhood as we are working on the 808th episode of the show. We've been calling it Lillias No Yoga and You in honor of our new guest in the Daverhood, or our new friend of the Daverhood. Now, friends of the Daverhood are people who have been on this program in months and years past. We consider them friends and family, and we like to keep tabs on them.
What did she win a Tony for?
A show called The Life that was co-written by Hoehne. It was pretty good. It was all about lower-level gangster people and people, hookers in Chicago. It was kind of that rung of society. And she kind of got known for singing a song called I'm Getting Too Old for the Oldest Profession. But you know one song.
Real estate?
You know one song from that show.
What?
You know it very well because I force you to listen to it so often sometimes.
What?
They put out an album of songs from the musical The Life. But it wasn't just a cast album. I think it has a cast album. But they got other people to sing songs, to cover version songs in the musical, like Frank Wildhorn did with the Civil War thing. They did this for The Life, and they got legitimate people and singers to cover the big brassy numbers and the ballads. But there is, and I can't play it because of copyright, unfortunately, there's a song called Easy Money which is really catchy. It's a really good Cy Coleman song that is in the show. And it was sung in the show. I don't know who sang it. It might have been Chuck Cooper. It might have been somebody else.
George?
Well, you're half right there. On CD, they got George Burns to sing Easy Money. And he was 97 years old at this point. And you get him on the record. And the rest of the record is like, okay, it's cover versions of these songs. They're catchy. They're fine. But then George Burns comes out and saying, easy money. You just go out and take it. Easy money. Yeah, and it's like, wow, it's fantastic. I would play it if I wouldn't suddenly be muted by Facebook for doing it or blocked on YouTube.
We had success with the thing. Don't mess with the face.
But you can probably find it on Spotify or one of these channels that has music from everywhere. Check it out. George Burns, Easy Money from the Life. And also check out, of course, Lillias White on YouTube and on Spotify now that her album's going to be coming out.
Yay.
Get yourself some happy. But she is a friend of the Daverhood. We thank her so much for being on the program. We also have to thank the folks who helped get her there, a guy named John and Jeff Sanderson.
Is that her press agent?
Or press agents, I think for her specifically. They, it took some doing setting her up for the show. She couldn't do it live. We had to pre-record it. But she did it. We're very, very happy. And so now we'll keep tabs on her, just as we do with other friends of the Daverhood.
David, because Tony winning people do need a lot of help in their career.
I know for a lot of people this is probably the most boring segment of the show, but it's meaningful to me. I like the idea that all these folks have been on this program and now they're still doing amazing things. For example, Judy Collins, the great Judy Collins, is going to be at Stephen Talk House in Amagansett, Long Island, and that is tonight.
That's a Stephen Talk House?
It's called, the Stephen Talk House. It's a club. It's a music venue in Eastern Long Island, semi-Eastern, in Amagansett, Long Island, and it features Judy Collins tonight. And by the way, speaking of folk and singers like that, Christine Lavin is at, hey, babe, what's up? Oh, I want to hear. I don't know if, let me see if it's on the camera here. So Christine Lavin is playing, oh, she pulled her hand away. This is my wife's hand, look at that. And we got rings and everything. Isn't that a nice hand?
Where's my Fitbit?
Oh, yeah, bring your hand lower a bit. No, what are you looking at? Oh, she's looking at that. Christine Lavin is at the Town Crier in Beacon, New York, and that is tonight. Vicki Cooperman, one more thing. There's a lot of things to do on a Saturday now that the world is opening up again for a while. Vicki Cooperman's Loves a Joke. She's doing that at Don't Tell Mama.
I want to say I'm very happy that you included the Delta variant in your
Why?
in your Q&A. I thought it was great.
Oh, yeah. I thought it would be so obvious.
Delta Dawn, yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't get it. It was
Because,
well,
you know what,
yeah.
I think it's like a new thing. They're just like, we're like gobsmacked. They're like, what's that? I don't
Well,
know.
yeah. But now I think I'm going to, maybe not every week, but I'm going to include that. I think that's a
those
fun
are
bit.
fun,
Yeah. So, Vicki Cooperman loves a joke. She's a comedian, and she will be at Don't Tell Mama either today or tonight. I don't have the time down on that. I want to send out condolences to Edward Einhorn, the playwright. His brother David died last Saturday after a long battle with cancer. So our best goes out to Edward Einhorn of Untitled Theater Company, number 61. Back to happy stuff. Adam Pascal is at Feinstein's 54 Below. That starts today, and it's playing all the way till August 9th. So you have a lot of chances to see the guy from Rent, Adam Pascal, Feinstein's 54 Below. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I would love to see this. Tomorrow night at 6, Sunday night, Dave Koenig, the comedian, and he's very funny, with musical director Elliot Finkel at Don't Tell Mama. Elliot Finkel, he is the son of the late Five-ish Finkel and brother of the late Ian Finkel. Both of those guys have been on Dave's Gone By.
The surviving Finkel?
He is the survivor. There may be other. I think it was a large-ish family, but he's They were the musical ones. Ian was the xylophonist, remember? And Elliot, he's I guess on piano, or backing up Dave Koenig for his jokes and stuff at Don't Tell Mama. That is happening tomorrow night at 6. And then on Monday night, for those of you who have Spectrum Cable or Verizon Fios TV, remember that Jamie DeRoy and Friends is going to be on Monday evening with special guest Tonya Pinkins, who's also been on the show. As a matter of fact, it's what they've done on these current episodes of Jamie DeRoy and Friends is they're dipping back into their archives of cabaret shows that they did I forget the name of the Metropolitan Room, I think it was, which no longer exists, but a few years back with cabaret performances by people, among them Tonya Pinkins. Anyway, that will be on Jamie DeRoy and Friends Monday night on Spectrum and Verizon Fios. Speaking of, I mentioned that Adam Pascal has this 2 or 3 week thing going at Feinstein's, but if you can't get there, if you happen to be in Asbury Park, New Jersey, you can see him the 28th and the 29th of July playing or singing there. And by the way, also on the 28th, which I believe is Wednesday of this week, Jay Lenhart is playing bass for Pangea's Jazz Series. He'll be accompanying Alex Leonard, by the way, on that night. And then on Thursday night, this is big for her, Kimberly Faye Greenberg will be doing Fabulous Fanny Bryce live at the Green Room 42. So you might have seen her do it virtually during the pandemic. Now you can see Kimberly Faye Greenberg's Fanny Bryce show live, Green Room 42, this Thursday. And then on, I guess, let's see, running now through the end of July, Todd Robbins' Haunt Quest at the Soho Playhouse. It's a haunting, it's a show, it's an event. It's Todd Robbins, and it's now through July 31st. Reminding you that Jim Caruso's cast party happens every night. Oh, no, sorry, every Monday night.
That would be awesome.
And maybe in his house he has it every night. But Monday nights at Birdland, Jim Caruso's cast party. Go to birdlandjazz.com. Evan Seplow is the editor of StageBuggy.com. Dr. Demento is the founder of DrDemento.com. Stuart Brown's SoundsOfBroadway.com is a place to go to hear 24/7 Broadway show tunes and musical theater songs. I want to remind you, let's see, what else can I let you know? Read Phil Mushnick in the New York Post writing about media coverage of sports. Listen to Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast, and listen to David Kenny's radio show on WBAI, Everything Old is New Again, on Sunday evenings. And last but never least, podcasts about upstate New York history from Bob Cudmore at bobcudmore.com. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Okay. Thank you, Hoehne. We get it. Okay, now hide and go seek. Okay, wow, it's just about noon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood, live on this Saturday, July 24th, 2021. It's our 808th episode of the show. We've been calling it Lillias, No Yoga, and You, and we're not quite done. We usually do go overtime, and we will just for a few minutes today, because we have a couple of things still to do. We've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. But as promised, or perhaps it's threatened, Rabbi Sal Solomon is back with a bit more to do. He did that lovely interview with Lillias White, but just take that down. He also put together a new rabbinical reflection. He hasn't done those in a while. It's been probably since early May, since he's had a mini sermon, like a 5-6 minute sermon, where he talks about Judaism, Jewish life. Well, I'll let him do it for himself. Today he's angry. Well, he's usually angry, but today he's particularly angry at ice cream because, at Ben & Jerry's, it certainly made him mad. Ben & Jerry's in the news because they made a decision this past week about where they will and will not sell their ice cream. And this decision has Rabbi Sal Solomon meltingly mad, if you will. So let me just share my screen again so we can bring Rabbi Sal back on to the Daverhood for his rabbinical reflection. I'll just open that up. I'll just make that large. And the next voice you hear will be extremely Jewish and angry. Rabbi Sal Solomon.
Hello, it's me, Rabbi Sal, with rabbinical reflections for you all. I come from Temple Sons of Bitches here in Great Neck, New York. Shut up and pay attention to me. Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sal Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for July 24th, 2021. I scream, you scream, we all scream at Ben & Jerry's! Back in the late 1970s, a couple of underachieving Jewish slobs, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, raised $12,000 to open an ice cream store. Combining their very different skills and sensibilities, did you know that Ben Cohen has no sense of smell? Finally, someone who can sit next to old men at the synagogue on Yom Kippur. But in a couple of years, Ben & Jerry's became a serious brand and, eventually, a world-famous hoo-ha. To their credit, these nice boy chicks always tried to be socially conscious. They donated to oodles of charities and nonprofits. They made their packaging more eco-friendly and objected to using growth hormones in their cows. For a while, they had a policy that nobody at their company could make more than 5 times what the lowest paid worker made. That didn't last. But Ben & Jerry's stood as a model for visionary capitalists who could create something people want and be funny and hip about it, improve the world, and still make a bundle. The most conservative right-wing neo-fascist could sneer at Cherry Garcia and Chunky Monkey, but they still ate it and had to marvel at the company's success. Messrs. Cohen and Greenfield sold Ben & Jerry's to Unilever 2 decades ago. It is said they have no connection to the company beyond their first names still being on the buckets. So, the horrible things I'm about to say, I assume, are not directed at them. But they certainly are to current CEO Matthew McCarthy. Well, he can kiss the Blarney Stone's tuchus for his leftist, radical, stupid decision-making. He wants gender equity in the workplace. Fantastic. He wants to give black people restorations and reparations for slavery. He's welcome to write a check. But his decision to stop selling ice cream in East Jerusalem and the settlements in the West Bank is more half-baked than their most popular flavor. In a statement last week, Ben & Jerry's said that selling their product in the occupied West Bank was, quote, inconsistent with our values. So, boycotting a country that annexed land it won in a war against perpetual enemies and then building citizens' houses on that land is inconsistent with the values of making people obese and giving them heart disease? In response to Ben & Jerry's BDS bullshit, the Israeli government is very likely to do what all Jewish people do when threatened. Call their lawyers. They did it 3 years ago when Airbnb, the company for people who don't think they're good enough to stay in hotels, Airbnb banned listing properties in the territories. Benji Netanyahu got on the phone to Moskowitz, and Flywheel. They put up a flurry of lawsuits, and Airbnb reversed its policy. To save face, well, one of their faces, Airbnb promised to take any money coming from those properties and funnel it to humanitarian aid. I just hope the CEO of Airbnb gets AIDS. But I digress. In current times, when even ice cream is politicized, Ben & Jerry's is facing a backlash over its anti-Zionist actions. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett called them, quote, the anti-Israel ice cream. South Florida politician Laverne Spicer tweeted, I will never buy Ben & Jerry's again. They might as well change their name to Hamas and Adolf's. A little hyperbolic, Laverne, but appreciated nonetheless. The Babylon Bee satire magazine created a new Ben & Jerry's flavor, push the Jews into the sea, salt and caramel. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, who has as much reason to eat his feelings as anyone, says he's reluctantly giving up Jerry Garcia, and right here on Long Island, Town of Hempstead Supervisor Don Clavin bashed Unilever in a speech. He vowed to remove every Lipton tea bag and Hellman's mayonnaise jar from government offices. And let's not forget Breyer's ice cream, which is for people who don't think they're good enough to eat Super Fudge Chunk. Uniloser has opened up a pint of worms with its decision to punish Israel simply for treating land in Israel like Israeli land. It's time for Unilever, Airbnb, and all these suddenly woke enterprises that have no trouble doing business in China, Russia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. It's time for them to think real hard about who the good guys and the bad guys really are in the world. Until then, it's up to us reasonable people to boycott them. Ben & Jerry's, go peddle your lumpy shit cream elsewhere. We won't buy it, we won't eat it, and we'll make sure your economic future hits a very rocky road. This has been a Rabbinical Reflection from Rabbi Sal Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Whatever happened to SEAL test?
The feelings expressed in the Rabbinical Reflections do not necessarily represent those of Dave's Gone By, although 99.99999% they kind of do, especially the bit about the SEAL test part. And I was there for the taping of this, and I have to say, it took the rabbi about 4 or 5 takes just to get through saying lumpy, lumpy shit. It's going to take me 5 or 6 takes to get through lumpy shit cream, which I'm hoping will become a meme. I'm hoping people will pick that up in protesting Ben & Jerry's and just calling it and giving it the nickname lumpy shit cream because, yeah, well, I just love that. Anywho, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, live on this Saturday, July 24th. We're almost finished with the program, but we have a little bit more to do. So if you thought that was offensive and disturbing, and it really wasn't, but if you thought that was offensive and disturbing, wait till our final segment of the show, our weekly Colorado Limerick of the Damned. This is where I write a poem every week about some town, city, little hickburg in Colorado, and make a little 5-line comic poem about it, because since they're limericks, they're short, they're pithy, they tend to be a little bit dirty or sick, and I try to follow those rules while making one very specifically about dozens and dozens and dozens of places in Colorado, and today we go to the small town of Hoehne.
You're the poetry. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado.
So yes, it's probably, again, we it should be pronounced in a Germanic way, like Hoehne or Hoehne, because it's Hoehne, but yeah, we anglicize and Americanize everything here. So it's in Colorado, they call it Hoehne. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's an unincorporated town in far southeastern Colorado near the Santa Fe Trail. It was founded by German immigrant William Hoehne, who came in 1859 when the territory was still actually part of New Mexico. He started planting strawberries and cherries. He opened a mill and created, our beloved, the Hoehne Ditch Company. You remember the Hoehne Ditch Company, don't you? No? Oh, I'm thinking of the Hoehne Trench Company. Totally. Anyway, they're still farming in the town, mostly alfalfa and hay now, because basically all our farmers do is feed cattle as opposed to actually growing fruits and veggies. And only about 100 people now live in the town, but they still kept some nice parts of it, and there's the train depot that was there was moved but preserved. So you can actually see that original train depot in Hoehne, Colorado. So folks, here's a, this one's not for the kiddies. It is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Hoehne, Colorado. A sexy young actress from Hoehne was beautiful, but quite the phony. She'd talk like a prude, but then she'd get nude and BJ her way to a Tony. Thank you very, very much. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Yes, we still have that old address, and I will respond to as many as I have the time for. You can also message me right here on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/davesgoneby. So if you're a friend on Facebook, you can message me directly or post on my page or under old shows or under this show, because that's the other thing. For people who are on Facebook, if you want to watch this episode again or the last couple of years of video episodes of the program, all you got to do is go to our Facebook page and just keep scrolling down and down and down. But either way, I would love to hear from you. Plus, please check my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. Radio Dave, the number 2. Plus, I want to remind you that Rabbi Sal Solomon, he has a ton of stuff. If you want to read and or hear his rabbinical reflections, he's got dozens and dozens of them, and they're all saved. The text of them, and a lot of times the audio, or more recently the video, those are at his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com, which is also the place to watch his stage show, Shalom Dammit, which I'm going to have some news of next week. I will, in fact, tell you, mark on your calendars, September, of all days, September 11th and 12th. Of this year, just a few weeks away, you will have an opportunity to see Rabbi Sal Solomon live and in person doing his classic show, Shalom Dammit, in kind of Midtown in New York City. It's exciting stuff. So it's Shalom Dammit, but if you want to see the old, long version that was done almost a decade ago, it's on his website, shalomdammit.com, plus his 10 episodes of the TV show that he did for cable, when cable was working back then, shalomdammit.com. And Rabbi Sal's Twitter feed is at Rabbi Sal Solomon. So it remains for me to thank some folks. Thank you so much to, again, John and Jeff for setting up the interview with the wonderful, Lillias White. Get her album, Get Yourself Some Happy, available where albums are sold, plus at her website, lilliaswhite.com. It's Get Yourself Some Happy. You can download it. There's also a hard copy CD. There'll be a vinyl for the holidays, so if you love the album, it'll be a great time to give a gift to someone who's got an old-fashioned record player. And remember, she will be at the Green Room 42. I think she said it's the 12th through the 15th. They may have added a day. The Green Room 42 for Lillias White. Thank her so much for being with us in the Daverhood. Thank you also to Vicki Quade. In just a few weeks, just a couple of weeks now, in September, Late Night Catechism is going to be back at the Greenhouse, the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. So go see that. And remember, in October, she'll have the Ghostly Bingo and the Christmas show, Christmas Bingo coming up towards the end of the year. It's Vicki Quade Quade. We thank her so much for playing the Today-Yesterday game with Leslie Hoban Blake. Leslie is in... you can watch her in episodes of Critic Circle and also Two on the Aisle. Those are two different YouTube channels you can watch for free. Her and our friend Charlie Gross talking about theater, interviewing theater people. The older episodes review tons and tons of theater on and off Broadway. Two on the Aisle and also Critics Circle. She's not going to be making any new ones at the moment because, as we know, she is undergoing some health stuff. So I hope she has a very, very healthy week and good luck with the radiation. We radiate good wishes and joy to her. And what else? Oh, and thank you, of course, to the winner, the usual winner of our Today-Yesterday quiz, David Sheward. You want to read him in his blog, The David Desk, plus Cultural Weekly, theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com for his writings about theater. And he mentioned today that he wrote something that looks really fun. What if Sam Shepard wrote an episode of The Flintstones? And someone else. It's like Buried Child in Bedrock. I can't wait to read it. You should read it too. David Sheward, Sheward. Well, it is 12:15 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You've been watching the 808th episode of Dave's Gone By. We've been calling it Lillias No Yoga, and we should be back next Saturday. Usual time, I believe it's the last day of July, 9 until noonish or thereabouts, with the 809th episode of the show. It remains for me to thank my wife. It remains for me to thank my wonderful wife, Joyce, for helping out with the show, for getting the show on the air today, because without her idea of the hotspot, we wouldn't even be here. But it's been a delight to be here, and we hope to see you again next week in the Daverhood and Gone By. Come on, volume knob. There you go. And Gone By!
Days gone by. Days gone